All right, good Monday morning. We like to call it Fourth and Monday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, welcome.
I know this is my first true
I know.
week 1 college football Monday.
Are you ready for it? Did you get a good night's sleep?
I really didn't.
You work out? You stretch before the show started?
I do stretch in the morning. Do you stretch in the morning? I really recommend it to people who, you wake up and you get the knees up to the chest. Or I'm being serious. It's actually like incredible for your health, and like my back pain has been reduced because I do it.
If I am now on this about a year long, it'll be a year long this weekend workout plan.
Yeah.
I would work out in the morning if I was not on this shift.
Yes.
Instead of like right after the show is over or midday. And then I would do my stretching, but I don't get out of bed and stretch.
I'm sorry.
Good job, Happer.
I'm pulling a con. I have my volume bars all messed up over here. I know.
You just pulled like a Hawaii on Saturday night against Stanford into the end zone. Welcome in, everybody. It is a red out week on your home for the Huskers. 1620 The Zone. That's right.
How about it?
Right, brought to your good friends at Union Bank.
Yeah. We're here. When Schaefer was on, I was doing the whole countdown thing, like we're X amount of days away, we're X amount. And he's like, when did you guys start that? And I told Schaefer, I go, I'm pretty sure since like day 83.
I'm pretty sure I started it once the clock went to 0 in New York City in the Bronx. I'm like, okay, the 2025 season is coming, and we have finally made it. So congratulations. Give everybody a high five today, a fist pump, because you went through week 0, the good, the bad, the ugly of the opening week of college football. And now Nebraska is here against Cincinnati coming up on Thursday. But can you smell it and can you feel it?
I can feel it.
And you know, and you don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay. Oh, well, I'm just going to assume anything that has to do with this week leading up to it with football, I can just feel it.
No. It's not about that. Can Peter, can you smell it or feel it? Loaded question.
It's a good question.
I mean,
It's a good
it might
question.
be a loaded question, but I think it's a good question at 6:12 in the morning. Can you feel it or smell it? Fill in the blank. Did you just go, I had the sniffles. You went, no. You know what? Can you guys not?
I can.
With the start of football season?
I can feel it.
What can you
I'm
feel?
feeling things.
What can you feel?
I'm feeling things.
I can feel mistakes. I can feel.
Oh, I see where your head is. Okay. You're already dialed in.
I can feel sloppiness.
Yeah.
I can feel
Pain and
turnovers. I
joy.
can feel pain.
Okay.
I can feel agony. I can feel slight hints of jubilation.
Okay, this is where I'm going here. I mean, we can't have all football this week. I mean, we got to pace ourselves. We're going to be here for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like fall outside. It feels and it smells like fall.
Oh.
I just saw Rusty Lord put up a graphic. This is the coldest morning we've had in Omaha since June 4th. 48 degrees.
I put on sweatpants.
The air, that crisp air outside, it is finally back, and it allows everybody today, because UNO is back. Schools over in Iowa are starting. It is the first day, and it's not fall officially, the first day of the Nebraska wardrobe.
Oh,
which is
shorts and a hoodie?
Shorts and a hoodie. It is a shorts and a hoodie day on the 25th of August. You cannot beat that. That's got to mean good things, right? That's got to bode well for the future.
You know me pretty well. I walked outside today, and I'm just a very loud human. And when I walked outside and I felt the dew fall, and I felt like the little
dew?
Like it's a little misty, it was a little dewy out there. It wasn't fog, but it was dewy.
It might be the tall buildings in downtown Omaha where you live.
It could be that too, but it was just dewy. And I walked outside, and unconsciously I go, "Oh, hey now." I just said that out loud and go, "Hey now, we got a little cold weather here, a little nippy." I get into the car and my windshield is all foggy and everything like that, and I got to put the wipers on.
Yeah, some people do that. Some people walk and go, "I can smell the apple cider donuts." I might hate them with all of my life, but it's just the fall, and that's the smell that you have. So It feels like fall outside. Football is back for Iowa State and KU and Hawaii and a couple of others. It was a good weekend. But now we're on to an awesome week of football that'll begin on Thursday and run through Monday. 4 Big Ten games on Thursday, including that game in Kansas City, which might be the last time that the Chiefs or the Huskers, I should say, I get those two confused, are playing in Arrowhead as we know it.
Whoa. Why do you say that?
There may not be the next time Nebraska plays a neutral site game in Kansas City, that Arrowhead may not exist.
Are they kind of moving forward with some of these?
Well, they got a lot of stuff up in the air. The Royals and the Chiefs on where they're going to play. And Mark Donovan last night, the president, was kind of non-committal on what's going to happen. But they are not moving before Thursday, and Nebraska and Cincinnati play on Thursday. So you know that this show will originate Thursday and Friday morning from the 1620 The Zone house, which, when it was first presented, was like, hey, it's right around the corner from Arrowhead. And I went, where's it at? I'm like, that's not around the corner from Arrowhead. That's in Overland Park.
Yes.
So we will be all, there's 7 of us?
There's 7 of us.
7 of us are staying in a house for, one night. Well, yeah, 2 nights.
No.
Because not everybody will be there on Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's some people that are coming back.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I
we'll be
didn't
there
know.
on Thursday and Friday, and then we will have a massive roundtable from 4 to 7 on USC.
4 to 7 p.m.
Right there at the Blur tailgate party inside of the
Yes.
gates at Kauffman Stadium. I think tickets are still available, and we might even be giving some tickets away. And then the football game will happen, and then we will do Big Red Overreaction. So we have made it. We have made it.
I am leaving the game at halftime to make sure that we man the stations for the Big Red Overreaction. So the first probably like 25, 30 minutes, I'll be on the BROR, and then we'll.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then we'll.
I don't think anybody has. We haven't even. I think it's a group effort.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you
Yeah,
gotta-
that's
people,
the way it was
people-
described to me.
People have to realize there's a play on Thursday. One is the Nebraska-Cincinnati game going to kick off on time, and will it start on ESPN if it goes, close to 8:00? Because you have a really good game before that at 4:30, Boise State and USF. So that's at 4:30. Smartly, we're not doing this. Hey, let's schedule a college football game in a 3-hour window. You got about 3.5 hours, but the odds that the Nebraska-Cincinnati game will start on time.
I think it will. I think it'll be kickoff at 8. I think 3.5 should be enough.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Can we get odds on that? Is there any place to get odds
Ooh.
on will Nebraska-Cincinnati kick off on time? And will it start on ESPN or will it be pushed?
To ESPN
Oh,
2.
yeah.
Well, the Boise
Didn't even
State
think of that.
USF game goes a little bit longer.
I would take odds that they will be okay. They will be fine. The spread on that Boise State USF game is 6.5.
It's a really
Boise
good
State's
game.
the
It's kind of a
favorite.
sneaky Thursday night game.
I was looking at the board for week 1,
Mhm.
and I tweeted this out. I like the board. I don't love the board.
Yeah.
Feel like it's the type of board you take to a brunch, but not to Nobu or anything fancy
Gotta
like
be
that.
better than this weekend.
You
in
know.
our contest.
I'm taking. Well, I mean, I got hammered on the week 0 board, but it's going to be UNLV 27-point favorite, and they were down 3 at half. What are you doing?
Dan Mullen TV looks pretty good. Well, they got 1.7 million by the Canelo Crawford movement.
Really?
Yeah, they got 1.7 million to move that game to week 0 so that Canelo Crawford could have Allegiant Stadium.
Good for them. Good for the pocketbooks. But like Idaho State now, by the way, 2 years in a row where they've played like a pretty damn good
Yeah.
team, and they're like underdogs by 30 points. They make it very interesting very quickly. But no, I think 3.5 is good. Can we just get this for college basketball? College basketball. is
No,
the
no.
worst
We
when
don't
it
need
comes to
college
this.
basketball going 3.5 hours.
No. I mean, like,
Which,
where
by
they-
the way, starts.
Extended
Which,
version.
by the way, starts 10 weeks from today. I just realized I'll be at the Pentagon in Sioux Falls 10 weeks from today.
that's
Wow.
crazy.
Jeez. Where did summer go?
It's all happening.
Well, so
August really slipped away.
like in our society, we have commercials that like when we see the commercial to us, it signifies something that we
Yeah.
are in a certain time. When you see the back to school commercials, you're at like at the end of summer. When you see the Christmas commercials, you're like, holy crap, we're coming up to
Mhm.
it. I'm seeing Sam Adams Oktoberfest commercials right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. Like we are We're here.
Yeah, summer.
We're
summer,
in fall.
Summer got away from us, but we have football and technically still summer this weekend. Anybody surprised that the line has it has not changed at all between Nebraska and Cincinnati? It's at 6.5. The total right now is 54.5.
So you pointed this out last week and you were spot on. The total opened up at 50.5.
Mhm.
That was the original number. Now it's gone up 4.5 points. I said, so somebody was asking me if I was going to bet this game, and I said, I don't like the number for either team, but I would take the over. And that was when I was at 52.5. So I think I would still take the over, frankly, at 54.5. I'm not surprised at all that the line hasn't moved, because I think people who are going to really bet this game who aren't Nebraska fans are going to bet Cincinnati because of just the history of Nebraska, how close games have been, one-score games. Just if you've been following this team, this is a game where you take the points for sure. But I think it kind of gets offset by a lot of Nebraska fans who are incredibly confident in this team and in Cincinnati, the fact that they didn't end the season that great last year. And that they're like, all right, Huskers are going to win this, so you're going to take -6.5. I'm not surprised the line has moved.
Feels like if you're going off of Bill Connolly's SP Plus and this total, feels like a 31-24 type game, which 24 is not a good number for Nebraska.
What is
not a good number for Matt Rule?
What nugget do you have?
The delegator who is in charge of Nebraska football, that's now his new name. So since
the delegator
has been the head coach at Nebraska, when Nebraska defensively allows 21 or more, they're 1-8.
That is a crazy.
Well, you want to go even more. So Nebraska has never, under Rule, won a football game, and you got to consider, for a while, Purdue was like the high water mark under Satterfield for offense and scoring touchdowns and points. Nebraska in 2 years is 0-5 when they give up 4 touchdowns or more. But yet they've had a top 20 scoring defense for 2 straight years.
See, I wonder though, like that 4 touchdown stat, I wonder what a good record against teams when they score 4 touchdowns against you are. Because it's probably one of those stats where it's like, even when, if you're borderline 500 when a team scores 4 touchdowns against you, that's pretty damn good. But I do think what you have to take into account there, though, with that stat, which is quite a significant stat in my opinion, it does kind of show to you how bad the offense was in year 1 under Matt Rule and just how painful.
Points, baby. It's all about points, ma'am.
I mean, it's quite incredible how quickly the quarterback room has shifted for Nebraska from going from a 5-star to a 4-star backup to where you were 2 years ago, where it was by far, bar none, the biggest problem, the thing that hampered you the most on the entirety of the team.
That just shows you that the offense got to be cooking with some peanut oil right away on Thursday night at Arrowhead. We'll have lots on this game today. It's also Big Ten Day on the show. We've got thoughts on the Big Ten season again. 4 Big Ten games. All 18 teams are in action. I think you'd take 16 wins. The Big Ten could go 16-2 this weekend. That'd be a good weekend. Pick your 2 losses, but all 18 are in action.
That'd be good.
Yeah, we'll talk a lot about the Big Ten this morning. Coming up at about 8:30, Evan Bland with his final thoughts. He'll join the show in his weekly spot. That's the lineup brought to you by the referees at John Higgins Weather Guard. You're always welcome to join the show on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline, 402-951-1620. You got thoughts on the season upcoming, the good, the bad, and the ugly on 4th and Monday. Please share those with us. If you're a K-State fan, you can complain about your team and your coach's decision-making. And we can also complain that we need to end the Dublin experience for teams. Just let fans go over there, experience Dublin, Ireland, but not bring your football team. You can always email us into the Equitable Bank inbox, Gary or Matt at 1620thezone.com, or on X at Gary Sharp 1620, at Matt McMedia. One part of this weekend, and this might be I said this on Friday, this could be a really good fall in Lincoln. Runs is back.
Yeah.
So his school opens today. And a shout out and good luck to Charlie Bloom, who begins his final year at Nebraska. Already has a job at a Fortune 500 company.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Charlie.
I told him, why would you want to do college in 4 years? Now his girlfriend's graduating in 3.5, and she has a job here in Omaha at a Fortune 500 company. Oh,
good for him. Good
but
for
I'm like,
her.
why don't you want to stay in college longer? He's like, nope, I'm in and out. Business school, in and out. So good luck to everybody that's starting school today at UNL, UNO, and of course, the Iowa schools are starting. Everybody else in Nebraska, because we're smarter in Nebraska, say District 66 been in school for like 2 weeks.
We've been in school since June.
But Nebraska volleyball. So you could have a big football season. You could have a rush to Kansas City. Let's just tell it right now. I-29 twice this year is going to be a big red convoy.
Whoa.
Going down on Thursday, then going down in December for the Final Four, because that is a wagon that is playing in Lincoln that is known as the Nebraska volleyball team on the opening weekend, where they win 6 of 7 sets against Pittsburgh and Stanford. And if you want to just do the scoring, 170-27.
That's crazy.
Is that good?
That's pretty damn good.
Peter, is that good?
Seems good.
Is that good? But my question, though, because there's, now you don't want to get super giddy because it's a marathon.
Sure.
It's not a sprint. I'm not a sprinter. I'm a marathoner. I don't like a quickie. I like a long, drawn out. Okay? That's why I never sprinted.
Sure.
Okay, because boom, once you start, it's over. Okay,
goes too quickly.
I like to be able to enjoy it, and you're running.
Gary Sharp here for lactic acid.
So I have said this, and I think she just has a permanent smile on her face. I think Danny Busboom Kelly, the new head coach of Nebraska volleyball, might be an outlier.
Ooh,
for the way that she is approaching her job right now.
So I think I know where you're going with this, but the ESPN broadcast I was watching, I thought they did a pretty good job overall, just presenting and talking about the game.
Mm-hmm.
I was stunned a little bit, not stunned, but like taken aback. They would throw the camera on DBK a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And about the 5th time they threw it on her in like the 3rd set, she was smiling like for the 5th time in a row. And I'm like, she is smiling this entire game. Entire game. She can't get a smile off of her face. It's ridiculous. Like at no point was she like super serious or like nitpicky or anything.
No, and that's why I say that she might be an outlier. Like she knows her team is really good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of fun to watch them play. And she's not like sitting back and just saying, hey, go out and play. I mean, she's coaching. But she knows that they're really good, and she doesn't shy away from it.
Mm-mm.
Like a lot of coaches, she was asked, well, actually both nights, Friday night and then yesterday afternoon against Stanford. Like, I think the sideline reporter wanted her to nitpick while they were hammering Stanford. And she's like, no, we're good. Because she knows it. And there are coaches that, like in that moment, would say, hey, well, we got to pass a little bit better. You know what? I know our blocking is really good. And Stanford is hitting 0.94, but, we'd like to get them down to 0.50. She knows it, and she talks it, and she's not afraid to say, yeah, we're really, really good. Now, I still think they have another level, which is scary to the rest of college volleyball. They have so much depth. They haven't had this much depth for about 20 years. But I think that she's not afraid to run away from how good they are. And there's a lot of coaches that instead of enjoying it, say, oh, no, we got this to work on. Like, no, we're good. We're really, really good. And I don't know if you've seen her tweet this morning. It was actually late last night.
I did not.
So bring up her Twitter account.
So I was reading quotes from her press conference, and to your point, what you were talking about, one of the quotes she had was, she just goes, yeah, we're humming. She goes, offense, we're just humming. We're just doing it. It's just like you just admit, like in game 1 or in like game 1 and 2, you're like, yeah, we're humming. We're firing at all cylinders.
Don't you think she's a little bit of an outlier?
Oh, 1,000,000%.
So here is her tweet. It was 7 hours ago. So it was a late night. Her and the hubby and the new addition to the family were probably settling down. And she's like, you know what? We had a hell of a weekend. We just rolled. And now we're going to Nashville. They took a team picture.
Yes.
That whole LOVB, Love B weekend. I got thoughts on that after being there yesterday. So they took a team picture, and she quote tweeted it. Something special is brewing. This is going to be a long volleyball season because, like, just get me to Kansas City, and along the way, just leave a little carnage on the road. They're damn good. They are so good.
It is one thing to like beat the number 3 team and beat the number 6 team in the country in 6 out of 7 sets played against them. It's another thing, I think, to look how they looked. It wasn't that they just won. It's not like, oh, okay, they had a good. No, they looked like it. They played incredible. They looked faster. They looked stronger. They looked just more organized than Stanford. And at one point, I had to remind myself, I was like, this is the number 6 team in the country. Like,
yeah, Stanford was. Yeah,
but you're gonna
Pittsburgh was pretty good.
But the point being, like, you're kind of like, they don't get. There are not too many teams that are better than the 2 teams that they just dominated over the last weekend. You know, that's just that. There's not too many teams that are going to challenge them like these guys are, and they killed them.
Yeah, I can't wait for Nebraska Penn State. Penn State was, Creighton performed well, but Penn State was everywhere, and very few times the ball hit the floor against them. I can't wait for Nebraska Penn State, but they were right out of the chute, number 1 team in the country, and they look like it. Because you'd expect like a little hiccup.
Yeah.
Maybe you stub your toe. You don't lose, but you're kind of choppy. Nah.
Wouldn't you think that coming out of this in the first weekend playing 2 top 10 teams that you would say, oh, maybe they have to adjust this, or maybe they play less of this player more, maybe they bring in this, or this is something that they're going to have to battle through. It's none of that. It's zero of that.
Matt, they have a player, Czech, who you'd be like, okay, she should be starting.
Yeah.
But she is coming off the bench. Their best players on Friday night were the 2 of the best players in the sport. And then yesterday, their 2 best players were part of a deep group, and they didn't need the 2 best players from Friday night to be exceptional, even though both Harper and Andy were really good yesterday. It's just enjoy this. And then there's going to be, they're going to have a moment where they face a little adversity and they lose, but this is special, man. They got something brewing, and you knew it. And it's so nice when you knew it, and when you know that they're really good and you expect it, and they just validate right out of the gate. Hello.
Emily Eman, who is an incredible volleyball analyst. She works for the Big Ten, but she was working for ESPN for the game yesterday. She was like, after the first 2 sets, she was like speechless.
No.
Like her jaw was on the floor. And this is somebody who is like all in national media, like volleyball, like expert, whatever, and was like, I cannot believe what I am seeing right now from Nebraska.
And I love that the head coach right now just embraces it, like leans into it, like is smiling. I don't know that you've probably seen a college coach that has smiled as much as Danny Busboom Kelly did this weekend.
I have.
She just always was smiling.
Always.
Yeah. That's kind of, as a fan, you're like, okay, I know we're good, but man, it's kind of cool that the coach she's stressed, but she's like enjoying this. She's like, man, this is high level. That's my team. That's my team on the floor.
It's incredible too, because she's giving away some game plans as well for everybody to hear.
Whoa, what do you mean?
Well, she said it over and over again. She's like, we're going to work through the middles. We're going to work through the middles. Yeah. Like I love working through middles. We have great middles. That's what we're going to do. Well, and with those 2 middles that they have, I don't think it matters.
I don't think that was giving away a game plan, because that's pretty obvious.
Sure.
But it is scary that their offense goes through the middles and they're setting them, which is not the usual in college volleyball. Yeah, they're top to bottom. I would pay money to watch them practice when they go live and they just play like a regular match and they choose sides. I'd pay to sit alone in the John Cook Arena to watch that, because I bet that is a banger.
That would be
that's an absolute banger.
Do you think their backups, if they had their own team, would be like
top
ranked?
10.
Yeah,
their backups would be top 10.
That's crazy.
All right, you have the lineup, you have the show. It's a Monday, it's game week. It'll culminate on Thursday night at Arrowhead for Nebraska and Cincinnati. Huskers are 6.5-point favorite, trying to break their first streak of the year. Well, actually 2. 1, 16-20 the zone whenever we travel to a road game, is never saw a winning road game. and to beat a Power 4 team out of the gate in opening night. Will it happen?
So the Power 4 streak is 22 years. What is the 16-20 the zone streak? Like
Never.
never?
Never.
Really?
Yeah. So technically, what is the zone? 26 years old?
26 years old.
Yeah. So that streak, like you don't play a Power 4 team every time.
Yes.
So that's a little bit skewed. We'll just say it's 26 years since Nebraska's ball game with the 16-20 the zone shows there. All right. Good luck. Good luck, Matt Rule. All right. When we come back, bubbling in Dublin, our top three things that we saw or heard over the weekend. Plenty of football leading you up to Thursday night at 8 o'clock when we can stop talking and start reacting. Scary and Matt with Peter in today on 16-20 the zone. Yeah, it's kind of it's a great week. We now have done this for multiple years here on the Zone, but that's tough to listen to with the late Greg Sharp. Good luck to Kyle Crooks as he makes his debut Thursday night at Arrowhead Stadium as the new voice of Nebraska. Welcome back into Gary and Matt. Stay tuned a little bit later. We just found out. This is not breaking news, but this is kind of a big deal, especially for all you country fans out there that thought they were breaking up. If you back in the day saw them at Rococo Theater in downtown Lincoln, we have Rascal Flatts tickets to give away.
Ooh, baby.
Life is a highway. Stole it from Tom Cochran? Yeah.
I am the young to the point where there are so many things.
Young Giants?
There are so many things that I think are like originally created by somebody that I later come to find
like
out
all
are
three
just
here in the studio?
like no. I mean, like songs are just resampled, or movies are like remade, or there's like an original.
I see what you mean.
You know, like
about the birds and the bees.
Like isn't like True Grit, like that was an 80s movie, right? Or a 70s or 80s movie, and then like
before you're born.
Yeah, and then I thought the first True Grit was with Haley Steinfeld. You know, like I thought that was like the original movie.
That's a good example.
Or it's like there are a lot of different songs that I hear, and I'm like, oh, this person made them. And I was like, nope, Aretha Franklin actually did that in 1974. Yeah. So I did not know that they stole that song. I thought Life is a Highway was written by and totally created by the Rascal Flatts until just right now.
That's the name of the tour. We'll give away tickets a little bit later here on the Zone. Nebraska and Cincinnati, Thursday night. I can't tell you. So the Arrowhead only seats 80,000, and it looks like it's getting close to a sellout. There's no way that there will be just 80,000 people there, because I ran into so many people this weekend that said, "Oh, I'm going down on Wednesday," or I got to work just like you guys on Friday morning, so I'm going down and then I'm driving back. I'll stop at the Platte City QT for the big pep rally on the way home. I'll try and avoid the Missouri State Troopers who are trying to reach their quota, pulling over Nebraska license plates. All right. The dispensary will be probably closed, so I got to. By the way, if you're going down, they do have a drive-through and you can order ahead. But
Gary, you're a man of the people. You're just trying to make sure everybody gets what they need to get.
I went in there and explored twice.
Did you?
Yeah. I wanted to see it.
What is there to explore about a dispensary?
I just wanted to see the setup. They got nice little kiosks, nice people.
Just a lot of weed,
Well,
or gummies.
Yeah, there is.
Or
there
bongs.
Is. There is. But you know what? There's a lot of other things about that drive down. So, but everybody you run into is like, I'm going to the game. And I'm like, okay. I'm now up to like 86,000 people are going to the game. But it could be a release of all this pent up off-season stuff.
Sure.
That just, here we go. So it'll either be the Stadium of Happiness at about 11:30 Thursday night, or there will be some sadness and there will be fights happening at the rest stops on the way back.
Between fathers and sons.
Yes.
Much like we saw in Ireland.
Yes. All right. Busy sports weekend. We will talk about Kansas State and Avery Johnson's great hair that when it's in the rain doesn't look as great. I will say about his brother and his dad fighting. At least they were fighting each other. It would have been much worse if they were fighting fans.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Okay, top 3 things that you heard or saw over the weekend.
I will start with what I heard. I think I'm a week late on this, if I'm not mistaken. But
that's never a good term to hear as a dude.
I think I'm a week late. Safe sex is great sex. Better wear latex. What? Lil Wayne, my guy. It's a guy.
We got kids in the car.
This is also.
We got kids in the car. Back to school. People are driving up and down Dodge. They got Norma in the back seat. She's like, Dad! Dad!
It's a great song. I mean, Lil Wayne's a poet.
Are they gonna for until Thursday? Are they gonna put Dylan in latex? What are we doing, Dad?
Because you don't want that latex saying you're latex.
Just stop.
He's a poet. He's a poet and he didn't even know it. Wheezy, baby.
Some soldiers don't need a helmet when they go into battle. Continue on.
I've never heard that. I've never heard that saying before. And by the way, all soldiers do need helmets. Please wear your helmets. Chance the Rapper released a new album. And
really?
It was a week ago. It was a brand new album. And if you're a Chance the Rapper fan, you would know that his last album was terrible. It was awful. It nearly ruined his career.
Kind of sent him into a
How do you
complete
feel
spiral.
about the?
Like he just collapsed. Like it was an awful. Gary, look up his album before the one that just came out. It's considered one of like the worst rap albums in music history. This album that he released, banger, incredible. Like I've been listening to it all weekend. Absolutely awesome. There's nothing better than when you think somebody's down and out and somebody you love kind of falls off. And then they're like, no, I'm not gone yet. He's back. He's awesome. He's incredible.
The irony is that last album was basically for his wife, and they are now split. So,
hey, can I use a couple of great Chance the Rapper? Because I like Chance the Rapper, but I think he's become more of a creator. Like he's into a bunch of other things, doing great stuff for the city of Chicago. He's got a lyric on the All We Got. You can't make it to the future if you're stuck in the past. I'm tying everything into Nebraska football this week.
That our theme? Is that our theme for Nebraska football? Yes. Chance the Rapper?
Yeah.
Chancellor the Rapper? You get it, the Chancellor Brewington, you know?
I would use this one on what you just said. We don't do the same drugs no more.
How about cigarettes on cigarettes? My mama think I stink. I got burn holes in my hoodies. All my homies think it stink. We just want cocoa butter kisses in Kansas City on Thursday. That's just what we're looking for, baby.
Hey. And Dylan steps up to the podium. He goes, I got my city doing front flips. I met Kanye West. I'm never going to fail.
No. Not that one. No. I met Kanye West. I'm never going to fail.
No.
I'm never going to hell.
If you listen to that song, so it's the Ultralight Beam.
Yeah, and it's one of the best songs.
It's actually Kanye's song, and Chance the Rapper is on it. But it's basically about confidence and ambition.
Well, yeah, we on an ultralight beam. We on an ultralight beam. This is a God's dream. This is a God's dream.
Angels,
everything.
Nah.
If what if Dylan went up to the podium and he did the spoken word from Blessings, rice under black beans, walked into the Apple store with cracked screens and told prophetic stories of freedom? What if he did that?
Just leaves.
And then he just leaves. Dylan just slam poetry after Cincinnati and then leaves.
What if Dana dropped a Chance the Rapper line and said, I'm coloring outside the lines. I'm trying to paint the perfect picture.
That'd be a good one.
But Chance the Rapper is an L when it comes to Nebraska football.
What do you do?
Boom, big L. One White Sox fan. And we need to get with it.
I told you. I told you you'd be struggling.
They're at 47 wins. We need to get to 54. Okay. But as you recall, the last Nebraska football coach to hang with Chance the Rapper no longer is here.
Scott Frost hung out with Chance the Rapper?
Mike Riley.
Really?
Mike Riley liked to hang out with musics.
Mike Riley went backstage, meet and greet prior with Chance the Rapper. And then when Kendrick Lamar, before Kendrick Lamar became huge, was in Lincoln at PBA, he showed up with Mike Riley.
Both of those shows, I was at both of those, and at the Chance show, they had a live stream of the meet and greets. It was before the concert started, and they were just filming people meeting him. And Mike Riley shows up, and we're like, oh, he's just kind of meeting everybody.
Yeah, we so Power did the meet and greet.
That's awesome.
We had one of their on-air people ask who that was with Chance the Rapper. I was like, well, that's his wife, Dee. And they're like, who? And I said, that's the football coach at Nebraska. And they're like, okay, because he didn't look like everybody else.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? What do you mean he didn't look like everybody else?
Oh, well, yeah, clearly.
He was just a little bit older.
Sure. Second best thing I saw this weekend, Tommy Fleetwood won the PGA Championship. What I loved, though, the most about it was, I know when they walk off the green, and typically it's the little kids who get brought up, and we see Bennett Scheffler and we see young Charlie Woods. He had a 24-year-old stepson, and it was just an incredibly emotional moment between those two, to the point where, first off, Tommy Fleetwood has the greatest hair maybe in the world right now. His locks are incredible, and they hug, and his older son, right, who's like an adult, started crying like in his shoulder, basically. And Tommy Fleetwood like looked up and goes, "Oh my God, why are you crying?" Like this is like he didn't fully expect it. It was a great moment. And then the third best thing I saw this weekend, the Nebraska volleyball team played at Pinnacle Bank Arena, and there was a video on Friday of them leaving the bus and walking into PBA, and they were
every team came in like that. It was cool.
Completely surrounded by hundreds of Nebraska fans. I was like, these women are the Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
They're the damn Beatles. It's just everybody's like at the bus, like just wanting to see them walk out of the bus and into the stadium. I thought it was so cool.
So I think we're going to get a Tommy Scheffler singles match at the Ryder Cup. But it was cool to see him finally break through.
Mhm.
There's going to be an epic Nike ad that will come out of it. And it was cool to see the other golfers that were filming the moment. I thought that was pretty cool because, Tommy Fleetwood, who has come close so many times.
Mhm.
I mean, let's listen. He's only 34. His wife is 57.
What?
Yeah. His wife is 57.
Excuse me?
I'm pretty sure. They've discussed this many times. Yeah.
Did he?
She's 57 years old.
How did that? When did they meet? How did that happen?
Well,
Is he-
I mean, it doesn't always have to be the guy is marrying a younger
No,
woman.
I know. I'm just shocked. I
Some
know it's-
older women, like the Cougars, are looking for the Cubs.
Which ones? Junior Lake, Luis Valbuena,
Hey,
Tony Campagna.
8-2 in their last 10. There's a lot of people. The Brewers are going to be looking at the Cubs. They went 6 days makes a big difference. They went from 9 back to 5 back. But in this case, Tommy Fleetwood's 34. His wife is 57. And I think it's great. You know what? I think everybody should love everybody. All right, love yourself and then love everybody else. Who cares? Age is just a number.
I can call it weird. I can totally.
Why
call
is
it
that weird?
It's a big gap. 23
You know
years
what?
old.
We have
Okay,
so much hate in
Gary.
the world. I like love. If Bill Belichick is horny and wants to hang out with
Jeez.
somebody that is about
Jeez.
50 years younger,
It's always back
it's
to Bill.
okay.
It's always back to Bill.
What about De Niro?
It's always back to him too. He just had a kid.
That's
And
okay.
he's like 90.
That's
just
okay.
crazy.
That's fine.
Talk about all
What's
soldiers.
DiCaprio doing?
Talk about old soldiers needing helmets. Robert De Niro needed a helmet. I mean, that's
He's
ridiculous.
got a young kid. It's great. I think, you know what? More kids being born,
You know-
more people in love.
It is weird.
I
It's
don't-
so
age
weird.
is not, who cares?
It is very weird.
It's not weird to those two. They are madly in love.
Okay, let me put
You
it.
know
Let
what?
me put in this
They've
aspect.
been married for 8 years.
They
so
are.
he was 26 and she was 45,
We are 20.
49.
They are 23 years. Okay, separated.
Yeah.
Right. You and I are around that.
About
The
60 years separated.
we are
but yes.
we are around that area. You and I are very different in how we grew up and how like what we listened to and how our childhoods were and what we talked about and what we were passionate about
Yeah.
as kids. Okay, we are pretty different humans. That's what do they talk about? Like what is the middle ground between the two? Like what do they connect on? They're so different. 23 years is a big gap.
They probably enjoy being around each other. Well, you need a lesson. I'm going to buy you
A cougar? I'll take it. I'll take it.
No.
Whoa, no, not for Christmas.
No.
Matt, what do you want for Christmas?
This is why you're single.
Santa?
There's why you're
Whoa,
single.
that is rude.
Yeah.
That is rude. Why am I
But
single?
They probably share a lot in common. They enjoy each other's company. All right.
20
That's okay. That's
23 years is a big gap.
you know what? They're in love. That's fantastic. She probably supports him and he supports her. I'm okay with that. Hey, Tommy and Claire, I'll see you at Bethpage. Okay. So will LeBron and President Trump. They'll be in the gallery. Okay.
It's just very random. I know they probably will be.
No,
have you
President Trump will be there, but LeBron, who is this summer, it's his summer of golfing, he'll probably be there.
have you seen his swing?
Yeah.
It's getting better. It's getting a lot better than where the king was. Where the king was 5 weeks ago to where the king is right now.
All right. Top 3 things. I'm going to give you a bonus one from this weekend.
Beauty.
Omaha Storm Chasers. Kansas State football caught a stray from the Omaha Storm Chasers. So playing in Columbus on Saturday night, the Storm Chasers hit 10 home runs. Bobby Dahlback, who might get a late season call-up, is playing well since he just joined the Chasers. Caglione, who Royals have admitted they rushed him along, so he's been in Omaha for a while. He's got 11 RBIs in his 2 weeks in Omaha. He's played well. Peter and I have seen him up close. He looks a lot more comfortable.
He does.
But they hit 10 home runs Saturday night in Columbus. they won 23-7, and the Storm Chaser Twitter account trolled Kansas State that they scored more points than Kansas State. Nicely done.
Very
Good job, Nina. That's who. That's Peter. That's probably who was doing that. That's Nina, right?
It should have been, yeah.
All right. Shout out Nina. Also, shout out to Plattsmouth football. There is a young senior at Plattsmouth High. His name is Dale Thornton. He has autism. He has 2 goals in life. He wants to play football and be famous. So he suited up. Plattsmouth had their scrimmage on Friday night. He suited up and scored a touchdown. And a great moment. I'm glad that it was shared. So shout out to the Plattsmouth football program. Done a couple of their games. The great people that run that program. They're usually really, really good. But that tops it, is that they allowed this senior, Dale Thornton, at Plattsmouth to suit up and score a touchdown. Now, the other one that, and I'm all in feel good, is the Nebraska band has been taking a beating. Okay.
Yes.
So mom and dad and brother and sister and friends and family can't come and watch them rehearse before games because it's a security thing. Bin Laden.
No,
Yes.
not this one.
Yes.
I'll give you a couple of other ones.
It is wild how lax security has been at Memorial Stadium. Like they some places they've you can't slip an usher like a 10 and get in anymore. You can't do that. You can't just randomly walk into the stadium, but you used to be able to do it. So they're ratcheting up the security. So, people were not happy. And then they told the band not to go on social media and crush the athletic department because there's already bad vibes.
Sure.
They're not traveling. They're not going to. My understanding is the band will not be in Kansas City on Thursday night. Okay.
Oh.
And I think there should be more canned music at Memorial Stadium, along with the band. You didn't. I thought you were going to crush me there.
No, I'm not.
But Matt Rule understands how important the band is for the atmosphere and how that is college football. And so Nebraska, when they did their mock game the other night, starting at 8:00, they had the band come out in the middle of practice and perform on the field. And the response by the players and the interaction was really, really cool. And the last thing, I'm going to give you a bonus one here, is if you want to feel like, okay, this is what we were all like as a kid. And yesterday was a big day in Seattle. So Cal Raleigh breaks the home run record for catchers, hits his 48th and 49th. Logan Gilbert strikes out 13. And the Mariners show they have a pulse yesterday. But there is a great video of a young Mariners fan. And I imagine he's probably 4 or 5, maybe even 3.
Sure.
He's sitting behind the Mariners dugout, and he is mowing on a bag of popcorn that is twice the size of his head. And they kept the camera on him. And we all know this when we were little kids and we were struggling to eat something. Like either it would end up on us or we just... It was classic to see this little kid because he had no concern in the world except for this gigantic bag of popcorn that was sitting on his lap while he's adorned in his Mariners jersey. It was a good weekend. Week 0 was really, really good. Could have focused on climbing that play call on 4th down. But those are good. That's my top 3 plus a bonus from this weekend in sports and world and the life.
Real quick update. In our first go around of doing our 3-leg parlays.
Not good.
We're bad.
Yeah. Well, week 0 was bad to us. I'm not gonna say we were bad. Week 0.
We're gonna have a better week. But I was sitting down and I was looking at the results and go, oof. I'm like,
we both -9 to start.
No,
you won 1.
I won the Hawaii Stanford under.
Okay, so I was -9. I had Kansas State. We both had Kansas State. I had Kansas State over 6.5 in the first quarter. What did they do? Scored on the first play of the second quarter. Yeah, when that clock was winding down, and then the linemen were like, "Okay, let's walk to the sidelines." I'm like, "No!"
So I was actually watching the game with Corporate Dan over at a nice little bar, and the first quarter ended, and I gave a little fist pump, and Dan goes, "What was that for?" And I go, "They didn't score a touchdown."
So Gary lost.
Gary didn't hit his over.
And then UNLV, Dan Mullen.
Okay, that was awful.
So
that was terrible.
I start -9.
Mighty Idaho State.
You start -1.
-1.
Okay, we'll bounce back this weekend. We got more to choose from this weekend.
I like the board. I don't love the board. I'm not caressing the board. I'm not sending her flowers or taking her out to a fancy dinner. But I am sending her a text. I am saying, "Hey, how was your day?" I like it.
there's just this half hour has really reiterated why you're single.
That is, you have not given a reason as to why I'm single.
You have better moves with a fake gambling board
Nothing
than you
fake
do
about
with
it.
a real person.
Nothing fake about it. Those games are actually happening. Those spreads are actually the spreads. Money is actually being put down in some of those games. Nothing fake about the board.
You know
Nothing fake about
you
the
know
board.
how to talk to a -6.5 or a +6.5 better than you have talking to a 10.
Me and Baylor, man, we couldn't get off the phone last night. Them at +2.5 at home against Auburn. Oh my God. We couldn't. We were on FaceTime till 3 a.m. Baylor and I. Not John Baylor. Baylor, the football team.
By the way, the GOAT started his 32nd year as the voice of Nebraska volleyball. Kaboom. All right, hour number 2 coming up. We'll dive into some Nebraska football stuff because it is here. We finally made it. We have finally made it to game week, 8 o'clock, Thursday night. Can you last that long?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
We're going to see.
We're going to see about a lot of things. You over there.
Whoa. What did I do?
Learned a lot about you here in this segment.
You learn about a lot about me every show.
Well, if you'd walk a different way, you might have better luck.
It's a good point.
It's Gary and Matt with Peter on 1620 The Zone.
The kind of like NIL sweepstakes, kind of like NIL $5,000 sweepstakes. You could feel like a true MVP. Think you've got what it takes to cash in like the pros. 1620 The Zone is giving you the chance to score big in the kind of like NIL $5,000 sweepstakes. Get ready to live like a legend, even if your highlight reel is mostly backyard barbecues and Monday morning meetings. One lucky winner will take home $5,000. No pads, no practices, no just cold hard cash. Go to 1620thezone.com, enter your email, agree to the terms and conditions.
Hey, there's a lot of stuff up at 1620thezone.com. A lot of goodies that are there for you to enter and consume. So go to 1620thezone.com. A little bit later, we're going to give away tickets to Rascal Flats. They're coming to Omaha sometime. Is it next month?
I don't
know. It's either
know.
next month or January.
I think no. I think it's next month.
Okay.
I think it's pretty.
All right.
I think if it's next month, we're gonna have some bangers here in Omaha and back to back. We got Rascal Flats and then Tate McRae too. She'll be coming in October.
You got me on to Tate McRae.
Yeah. It's gonna be a great concert.
I've just watched and listened.
It's gonna be a great show. I've never, I was telling people I wanted to go to the Tate McRae concert, and they were asking me why, and I told them, I've never been to like a pop show, like a full on pop music show, and I know that they are, and I know you've been to plenty of them. They are just very well. No, you've talked about your experiences.
Back. All right.
Yeah, and you went to the Eras tour, right? Like that's a pop show. Like they're just higher in production. There's a lot more lights. There's a lot more fog. There's a lot more fire.
Yeah,
it's different.
I was not familiar with her game. She puts on a really good show. She's extremely popular.
Incredible.
So I imagine that there will be a bunch of 14 to 16-year-old girls and a bunch of 45-year-olds.
I admittedly
will,
do
be
listen to a little bit of Tate McRae.
And
I like some of her music.
And a 23-year-old man.
All right, so go to 1620thezone.com. Lots of goodies up there. Evan Bland coming up in about 90 minutes as we begin the road to college football. That for the Big Ten will culminate in Indianapolis, where Ohio State and Penn State will play in the title game.
I think it'll culminate in Indianapolis, where Penn State and Oregon will play in the title game.
All right. I'm not as high on Oregon as a lot of people are. That's my favorite under for win totals. I think Oregon goes under 10.5.
My favorite under currently right now is Illinois. I'm kind of off the Illinois wagon, if I'm being. I was on it.
That's what happens in the offseason.
And then I'm kind of off of it, and you just see how close were they in how good they were in one-score games. You kind of have to harken back to, man, like they lose that Minnesota game. They should have lost that Purdue game. Let's be real. When they went to Oregon on the road, that wasn't even a contest. Like there was no second of that game that was really that great. And, Brett Ciancia made a really good point of where he's like, I don't know how much better a lot of these guys can get. And I do think Luke Altmaier is a very good quarterback, but I do think he's going to struggle pretty mightily not having Pat Bryant to his left and having Zachary Williams to his right. So I think that the Illini, while I don't think they're going to be bad, but I don't think they're going to get to 9 wins. And I do think they play a decently tough schedule.
No, I think it's a light schedule. I would look at it differently from my vantage point. They have a heavy defensive front. I think they have a playoff shot. But why I say Oregon under? Oregon still go 10-2, and that's a good season. But that's not over 10.5. The over that I think will. I mean, I got to do this. They have a good running back, and they don't have much else. I like Purdue going over 2.5.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. I mean, I know Purdue may not win a football game in the Big Ten this year, but it's 2.5.
Gary,
it's 2.5.
They are. First off, they were the worst.
Barry Odom.
They were the worst college football team that I have ever seen last year. Okay,
that's why they made a change.
That's not okay. But then you go around and you look at, like, you read these previews. Everyone and their mother has a Purdue transfer. Like it's almost as if every single preview, it's like this guy from Purdue transferred here. This guy. So they were bad, and then they ended up winning, or they ended up losing a lot of their players. So it's almost as if I'm kind of like, man, they might be even worse. They might be they might take a step back
I think
from
they'll have
already being
I think
terrible.
they have a better head coach. I mean, we're just talking about 2.5. The bar is super low. That's the over that I like.
I thought you were going to say Northwestern. I thought you were going to really warm my cockles there.
No,
that
because I
Cats have a
think
chance.
Northwestern is 0-12, and 12 of those losses are to the hands of Pat Fitzgerald and his attorneys.
He got paid. He got a lot of money.
He got paid, and I don't know why he is not in Palo Alto this morning as the new head coach of Stanford. But I can't force him to do something he may not want to do.
My favorite over. I've been kind of, I've kind of been on this for a little bit now. Michigan State 5.5.
Yeah.
I think it's a manageable schedule. I love Jonathan Smith. It's a reworked offensive line, but I do think it'll be one that's better than what it was last year. Definitely worried about the defense, especially up on front. They lost, I think, 5 or 6 of their front 7 from last year to this year.
Mm-hmm.
But they bring back a lot of guys in the secondary, and I'm on the Aiden Childs train.
Yeah,
I watched him last year about 3 or 4 times, and he looked sloppy against Oregon. Like against Oregon, he was running into sacks. He looked flustered. He looked really young, but he never stopped playing. He kept taking hits and he kept trying to win that game. You see him play against Boston College, and you're like, okay, I see it. Like I can see this. I can see where he can be great.
By the way, is Cincinnati Boston College, but with a better quarterback?
Ooh. No, because I do think Cincinnati has a better run game than Boston College did. But the defenses are they're both pretty decent and pretty stout. I like that. I don't hate that comparison. I like it.
Of course, the monster game is Big Ten versus the SEC, which it should be a standalone, should just be on its own. It should be on like Sunday where everybody can watch it. But as part of that, and I don't know if you saw it Friday night, it was fantastic what ESPN did with their Lee Corso special. They're not going to have a guest picker from Columbus, right?
God, no.
They can't.
They should not.
They can't, because that set is going to be a mess. First of all, I don't know if you watched it. So Herb Street is a big part of it because he has been a friend, more than a friend can ever be, to Lee Corso. Pre-stroke, post-stroke, most importantly, post-stroke. Herb Street is bawling in it. And you can see the love that he has for Lee Corso and vice versa. ESPN, that hour special was great. So this is his final one. And he's got something to look forward to. I think fingers crossed he made it, or he's going to make it to Saturday because, 90 years old. I don't know how anybody on that set, and especially the guy that sits to his left, is going to be able to keep it together when they get to the final headgear pick.
Yeah.
That, man, you're going to put a celebrity that's sitting right there on that set that doesn't have the same emotional attachment to Corso, unless it's like a Will Ferrell or somebody like that who has been there numerous times. I don't think they can have a guest picker. I think they just go to the picks, and then they give Corso 5 minutes, and people are going to be, that's how our season's going to start on Saturday. People are going to go to the 11 a.m. kickoff. They're going to flip over to Fox, and you're like going to have tears streaming down your face because of what you just watched on ESPN. ESPN's done a great job in how they've handled Corso, how they've handled one last time, not a season, but one last time. If you get a chance, that hour special that aired on Friday, and I'm sure it can be found at a lot of different places, man, makes you love this sport. Love him, what he's done, but the sport in general and his place in it. And you're going to get everybody says it was McAfee and Saban that started to swear first. It actually was Corso.
Oh, way before that.
Yeah.
F it. So good. That's one of the best sport media clips ever. And Herb Street's reaction to it just makes it 10 times better. I didn't watch it, but I saw the clip of Herb Street crying and giving his emotion. And I immediately, my first thought was it's going to be crazy.
You're going to need so many tissues. Now, I hope they don't do this, and I don't think they will. It's a celebration. It's not a funeral.
So
it's a celebration
Great point,
of
Derek.
Lee Corso's place on that show that has been there from day one. Not a funeral. celebration. Please don't make it a funeral.
Say-
Celebrate everything that he's done. And I hope that they show him riding the mechanical bull down in the bottoms in Lincoln in 2001.
Oh, that they need to make like a Last Dance-esque like compilation or highlight reel of just of Lee Corso and make it like 6 minutes where it's like
so you got to watch it because they do have
okay.
Yeah.
But I want
So it's like a 1 hour special.
Yeah, it aired Friday night.
Okay, I
I'm
need to
sure it's
check.
going to air a couple times. It's been cut up and it's on social media.
you know what I'm talking about though with the I will take a 7-minute highlight reel. Like I will take a very long because he deserves it because he's incredible. Now, the guest picker, I was laughing when you were bringing that up because I was just thinking in my head like who would be really funny people to be a guest picker while everybody is crying and they're just sitting there and they know nothing about like college football. It's like you get Seamus, up there. He's just sitting there. This is the big red machine. He's just like, all right, fella. Like, why are these grown men just drowning in tears right now? Just get like a state senator up there who knows zero about college football.
I mean, I hope they don't have anybody.
They
just-
shouldn't. They
just-
shouldn't. Absolutely not.
They just pick and then they let Corso have his moment. And he chooses, like he did the first time, Brutus, that Ohio State will beat Texas. All right. That's part of this incredible opening week that begins on Thursday and runs all the way through Monday. So SP Plus dropped last night. People had it on alert. It came on the phone. They went, Bill Connolly, talk to me. So Nebraska, he has in his formula 28-20. The line is 6.5. Good teams win. Great teams cover. If I just gave you 28-20 and we saved all that money going to Kansas City,
Yeah.
everybody be satisfied?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Can't be greedy around here. Got to baby steps here before you think big.
Oh yeah. 28. They can win 28-27. They could win. Gary.
No, I'm not saying I'm not disagreeing with
I
that,
know.
but that brings something else into play where I would like Dylan Raiola to be Rocco Beck.
Yeah.
Clutch quarterback play, wins close games.
When we were picking the Kansas State Iowa State game on Friday, and I said this and you agreed with it. I go, look, I think Kansas State's just straight up better. But if this becomes a close game, you're going to take Rocco Beck than Iowa State because that's what they do. By the way, when I said 28-27, I didn't think of Dylan Raiola leading Nebraska down for a final game-winning touchdown drive. I just imagined Cincinnati scoring but not getting the 2-point conversion. So maybe I should have.
Hey, if that
clarified
happens, I'd charge the field. Okay. Now you might get arrested.
What do you mean might? You would get arrested.
Oh, what are you more likely to get arrested for Thursday night? Rushing the field after a Nebraska victory or throwing something on the field that ended up in a bunker at the Tour Championship yesterday and is a frequent part of the floor at WNBA games.
Wait, didn't that go away though? I feel like we haven't seen that type of
no,
toy.
It was at the Tour Championship
No.
yesterday.
I saw that. I saw it in the bunker. But I was talking about at the WNBA games. Hasn't it taken a step back recently?
Yeah, because they're frisking people.
Oh,
I think.
how
that
terrible of
just
a
sounds,
job
that
would that
sounds
be?
like the way.
Yeah, we're frisking people for sex toys.
Oh, I wasn't going to say what they were. They were just objects.
That's what it is.
I'm just going to say it's an object. We got kids in the car.
But I'm saying facts.
School time.
But I know. But I'm saying
I can't
facts
talk
of
like
what
we're
it
in the middle of the
was.
summer.
But
We're in
It's-
football season.
I'm
It's
not-
school season.
I'm not talking like I'm talking in the middle of the summer. I'm just saying facts. The facts is it was those types of items that
Matt
were
at
thrown.
1620thezone.com if you have kids that are now
no,
like, Dad?
no.
Dad, Dylan, and what's going to come on the field?
Look, kids got to learn facts. That's the facts.
No. For somebody that does not have kids and has not been around kids, just you keep it moving.
I thought-
Just stay single
I-
23-year-old guy.
I-
Yes, just
I thought you were
No.
about to say. I thought you were
Nope.
about to say for a guy who doesn't have facts.
that's true. I'm going to give you
Whoa.
some facts.
Give me your nuggets.
No, they're not nuggets. They're facts.
Oh, my bad.
So this is when I say Rocco Beck. So Rocco Beck has thrown a touchdown pass in 19 straight games. As a quarterback at Iowa State, he's 12-3 in the last 15. But here's what's turned things around at Iowa State. So they had lost 9 straight games to ranked teams. They had lost 10 of 11 one-score games. But Since the end of
Mhm.
23,
Hmm.
they are 4-1 against ranked teams, and they are 7-1 in one-score games. Why? Clutch quarterback play. Rocco Beck is the reason. Year 2, you need a clutch quarterback to do those kind of things. Now, Nebraska's not playing a ranked team, but if they win 28-20, that's a one-score contest.
Mhm.
And so now you like, okay, maybe part of the narrative is changing. But clutch quarterback play in year 2 and beyond, I think will help with those things that have been so one-sided against Nebraska. And that's what's happened at Iowa State. And that's why Matt Campbell is now the forever coach at Iowa State.
Well, you look back at, and I didn't press Brett on it, but like you look back and you read some of these previews of the teams that ended up having great records. They all have great records in one-score games. Like that's just like when we talk about football being the game of inches. Like that's what it's about. Like, can you go and can you make those final plays at the end that are going to put you over the top? And I think that there gets to a certain point, and we've had this discussion before with the Kansas City Chiefs, where it's no longer about, hey, they've won so many one-score games, they're due for a regression. At some point, it just becomes a part of who you are. It just becomes a part of your identity. It becomes like what you do.
The identity for Nebraska football is we are not going to go back to the mean. We're going to stay losing one-score games. But that changes this year.
Yeah.
Clutch quarterback play can do it. If you're satisfied 28-20, you got to win, you got to cover, and you won a one-score game. And you beat a Power 4 team. So for Nebraska to make this jump, I said this from the middle of the spring. There's a lot of things that have to happen that Nebraska just has to be new Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, yeah, on the old Nebraska, they're losing this game, this game, this game, this game. You got to break a lot of those to get to 9 or pretty damn good 10. That's just how I look at it. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. Evan Bland in an hour. More on what's ahead on Thursday. We'll get into some of the things about Kansas State, Iowa State, because I'm all out on Dublin games. Let the fans go over there. Let them put together beer snakes in an empty stadium, but do not play the game anymore. That's just a debacle of a football game. I would be scared if I was North Carolina and TCU next year to go over there and play. Weird things happen, not just onside kicks. Oh, all of a sudden you're playing and there's no yard lines because of the rain. Scary and Matt with Peter on 1620 The Zone. Hey, my good friends at Moose Roofing, and big shout out to Pat Moose and his crew and everybody else that was in the 50-mile man march over the weekend, including our very own Michael Severe. Pat, a veteran, that is a cause that is near and dear to his heart. Something else that he has an extreme passion for is taking care of Moose Roofing clients. That, all of a sudden, your most valuable asset, your home, you got leakage. You're missing some shingles. You're like, we're going to sell our home. We need a new roof. Well, you're thinking, oh, geez, now I got to deal with a local contractor. Deal with a local contractor that has a fantastic reputation, that they're here before the storm, during the storm, and after the storm to give you a peace of mind. This is what it happens. Fantastic process. If you need your roof repaired or even looked at, get a hold of Moose Roofing. Schedule an inspection today online at mooseroofing.com. Guys like Sean Michael, they'll come out. They'll sit down with you first. It's not like they're going to pull in the driveway, get out of the Moose Roofing truck, and hop on a ladder and get on your roof. They're going to sit down and they're going to get to know you as a person, also your needs, and then they're going to go to work. They're going to take pictures, video. They'll get into your attic. Then they'll present the plan to you. They'll work with your insurance company. That's something that they do above and beyond if anybody else, is the whole insurance process. And then once it's ready to go, professional, fantastic job, guaranteed, or you'll be talking to Pat. That's what they do at Moose Roofing. Over 30 years of business, over 15,000, now we're close to 16,000, Randy told me the other day, of roofs from Western Iowa all the way to Lincoln and in between. So if you have roof damage, if you would like your roof looked at, if you're looking to sell your home and you need a new roof to help the value, contact Moose Roofing today. Online at mooseroofing.com. All right, welcome back in, Gary and Matt. On a Monday, it's game week. We've made it. Good luck to everybody going back to school today. You know how also we have made it? Because in some circles, we had in-depth conversations about ESPN's score bug over the weekend. People love or hate the score bug when it debuts to begin a football season in the NFL or in college.
I'll just be frank here. This is kind of the whole like jersey thing as well. Like I told you that when you came back on Friday, you were like, thank God I was out. We talked, all you guys talked about was jerseys and food. And you were surprised to hear, no, we didn't. I don't care. Right. I just didn't care. The score bug is another one where I really don't.
Some people are passionate about it.
I don't care. Now I do like the Fox one that they had for the Super Bowl and that they had for the Bills-Bears preseason game.
Where it just had the logo?
Yeah. I was kind of like,
that's true.
Like that's a little too, because I don't like minimalism, but I'm not like freaking out about it or I'm not like judging it or ranking them. I don't even remember what the Kansas State Iowa State score bug looked like.
It was okay. There was a lot of information there.
I think it could be sized down a touch. But the overall look of it, I liked. It seems like Fox is running it back with the one from the last few years.
That's why this sport is so great. Is that we did well? But score bugs are a big thing. Like,
you have to look at them all year.
Yeah, I don't need to be seeing Nam when Omaha plays somewhere for Nebraska Omaha. Sure. A couple of things here on Lee Corso, and again, this is his last appearance. Brian tweets in, I've watched the Corso special twice now and had tears in my eyes both times. I will miss him. He's been a staple in my college football life. Justin says, at Gary Sharp 1620, respectively, ESPN has done a terrible job with Lee Corso in the past several years. He should have shut it down years ago, and it was ESPN's job to ensure his dignity. Myself and many I know felt sorry for Lee, propping him up there each week. There are many, many that share Justin's sentiment. And it's like when your parents get a little bit older and you're going to have to take the keys away from them, like that awkward discussion. Because I felt kind of like how Justin has is, dang, Lee's really struggling. And thank God Herb Street was there. I don't know how you would have done it. Maybe a year or two earlier, they would have said, okay, this is the way to go out.
Sure.
But maybe they were always thinking, he started with Ohio State. This is a great opportunity to finish with Ohio State. I don't know the behind. Like they did a really good job with Hubie Brown.
Yes.
Hubie Brown's 91. So they let him do one more game in January, and then Hubie was done. There will be a very, very interesting discussion about Vitale when Dickie V, who just got a new contract, when Dickie V, and his health is better. I mean, he's left, right, and cancer, thank God. But they're going to have that discussion, and they've taken him off some of the marquee games. So the Corso thing, I think they are doing this right because it's time. Maybe a year or two earlier, but they realized we can only do one game instead of a year.
Sure. So, and I'm speculating here because I don't really know the behind the scenes and what went into these decisions. And you can feel free to butt in whenever if you feel like I'm wrong. But a couple of thoughts come to mind. First off, I think that Pat McAfee being added to the show definitely has allowed and Nick Saban as well, have allowed the higher ups at ESPN to be ready to move on from Lee Corso. Because I think that if you were to have taken Lee off of the show and you didn't have those two on the show, you'd be like, damn, like this, it's not the same. Like this isn't, it just doesn't have that, it doesn't have that feel for me. It doesn't have that pizzazz for me. Now that you have Saban and McAfee, who are great parts of that panel, I think you're more comfortable with moving off of Lee Corso now than you were maybe a couple of years ago. And then the second thing that comes to mind is, this is what Lee does. Like Lee's not doing anything other than College Game Day. He doesn't have another job. He doesn't have another broadcasting assignment or anything like that. He is just College Game Day. And I think from just a health and movement standpoint and getting him up and going and having things for him to look forward to and having things for him to do, I think that has honestly benefited his life, So now I do think, though, ESPN has, especially after last year, I think they've recognized okay, we really are propping him up too much.
Yeah.
Like, because they've been propping him up, but now it went to another level.
So in the
last
special,
year.
he was his conversation was a lot better in their special. But then they put him because it was kind of centered around the College Football Hall of Fame. They put him in the theater and had ESPN, either current or former coworkers, say thank you. College coaches say thank you, and then his family said thank you.
Mhm.
And he is, he's got, he's got the look of just like he's staring into space and his mouth is open and you're like,
Yeah.
and then he's crying. So I can't imagine how they'll handle Saturday. He won't be on. He'll be on at the beginning. He'll be on at the end, maybe pop in one time, and then that'll be it. And then they can move on to the next stage of game day and we won't go, man, they're either using Lee or they're doing Lee wrong. All right, let's get to the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline for the first time on a game week. Nebraska ball, Mike.
How we doing?
Good. How are you doing? Whoa, that is not good Monday game week energy.
Well, I'll pick it up here.
Okay.
Little
3,
now,
2, 1,
my
go.
question is, I caught the highlights. I caught the Stanford highlights last night.
Mm-hmm.
Was the Cowboy in the building at all this weekend?
John Cook?
Yes.
Yes, he was there. He was there on Friday, sitting next to Nora Sis, who the Fox broadcast didn't know who she was. And then he was there yesterday, kind of on behalf of the Supernovas. So he was decked out in a Supernova quarter zip. Now, the Cowboy will be in Sioux Falls today on the last part of the AVCA showcase up at the Denny Sanford. So he'll be on the broadcast today.
Okay, good. And from what I saw, this team looks like it's friggin' NCAA tournament time now. Okay?
Yeah.
They're on the floor in friggin' August, September. They're on the floor.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Well, how about
Hey.
how about Mike? So part of that, Andy Jackson from the back row is finishing, but she's also diving on the floor.
Yes.
I mean, hello.
They're bought in.
Oh, and they love
Stephen K,
love being around
You
each
should
other.
be smiling. I'd be smiling too.
Mm.
Okay? Now,
Uh-oh.
Dana Holgerson.
Whoa.
What?
That's quite the transition, but
I'm doing
land
what
the
I'm
plane.
doing.
That's a
You
Cal
know me.
Raleigh pop time.
You know what I'm doing. Dana
No.
Holgerson. This is why we brought you in.
2.
You were a head coach 2 places. We got a 5-star quarterback. We got him going to a pro stadium. We got people talking. We got a lot of noise being made. This is why we brought you in. Okay? You were brought in to fix this program and to help him. And if you can do it, this program won't be dead anymore. And this program will matter. Now, Mike Eckler, between you and Dana, if you guys can do your job, we can do this. But I think we might need 30 to get it done.
Okay. All right. Every week or just this week?
Just this week, given the environment, given the nerves.
Okay.
I'm a wreck.
Whoa.
You know that.
I know. Every week,
I
man.
don't trust
You'll be a
anything
wreck next
right
week
now.
against Akron.
They got to show me.
Okay.
So enjoy it. And, hey, at least we're not Stanford.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, that's why they call Nebraska the Harvard of the Midwest. Right. Yeah. Hey, thank you, Mike.
Does anybody call themselves the Stanford of anything?
I don't know. It's awful rough. They're 12-39. There has been no football program that has been impacted more by new college football than Stanford.
And COVID kind of wrecked them too a little bit, right? I mean, weren't they one of the programs that had to shut down a lot of different Olympic sports as well? I mean,
So NIL, Power 4 move, to the ACC.
It's still so weird to me.
Portal, I mean,
Yeah.
it's Stanford still has some standards when it comes to academics, but one thing that should not be overlooked about Stanford's downfall. First of all, we need to, if you haven't, and I know you don't, throw some flowers towards Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh is a really good football coach. Jim Harbaugh actually might be one of the better football coaches in the last 15 years. NFL, college. If you look
Yeah.
at his track record, remember he was successful at Stanford. I wrote this down because I'm fascinated by Stanford and their struggles because a guy that I like deserves a lot of blame. Between 2010 and 2018, Stanford averaged 10.4 wins a season. Between 2018 and last year, 3.3. They may only win 3 games this year.
Awful.
I mean, their quarterback play is, but David Shaw, man, what were you doing at the end? That Rose Bowl win over Iowa,
Yeah.
where Christian McCaffrey was running all over the place, and you're like, man, Stanford football. That is so long ago. The fact that David Shaw, that program slipped so bad before new college football kicked in, really is an indictment on David Shaw, and he has disappeared. I mean, he could have been in line for some really good jobs. Now he's like he's in the NFL. Is he still with the Broncos?
I think he's an assistant coach still. Let
Okay.
me see.
But that's kind of the downfall. I mean,
Passing coordinator for the Lions.
okay, so he moved. He
Jeez.
was with the Broncos. Now he's with the Lions. But there's a guy that was he was an up-and-comer. He was on NFL Network for the draft.
Mhm.
You were like, I love this guy. He's winning at Stanford. Now, I mean, they brought in Andrew Luck to try and save the program. Pat
Well-
Fitzgerald can help you, but they're woeful. And I actually feel bad for Stanford because they're getting. I mean, put the asphalt over Stanford. They don't have a fan base.
Well,
They used to be good in football. They used to overachieve.
They played in 2019. Northwestern played Stanford, and I was watching that game, and it was at Stanford, and that stadium was empty. There was nobody there. It was embarrassing how few people were at that game. And this isn't 2 years ago. This isn't 3 years ago. This was in 2019, not too far removed from when they were consistently in the double-digit range of having wins. So this was like the beginning of their downfall. And even at the start of it, people just weren't there. And I was startled by how much it just seemed like nobody cared about that football program over there. And now you bring in Andrew Luck, which, look, Andrew Luck from a optics perspective and through what they've had to go through over the last couple of, year and a half now with the football program, looks great for them, right? Because he's a Stanford man. He's a great guy. He represents the program well. But from let's just call it from a football perspective, I don't think Andrew Luck is like the top necessarily general manager or pseudo athletic director that you can have to really turn that program around. So, I mean, I think it's interesting that he's there, and I think it's good for the program that he is in front of it because he's one of the best people to come out of there. But I don't know if anything is really fully getting solved from a football winning perspective.
I agree with Adam here. And Adam and I have actually kind of talked about this. The Big Ten killed Stanford.
Not taking them.
They were all set to come to the Big Ten. And when it became UCLA, USC, and then they flew over the Bay Area and they left Cal and Stanford behind.
Mhm.
And I mean, you would rather have Stanford than Cal. That killed Stanford. It did. I mean, Stanford seems like a fit for the Big Ten because you look at their Olympic sports have been still, their Olympic sports are still doing things, but their football program has slipped so much that they play in the ACC. Stanford plays in the ACC when they kind of align more with the Big Ten. But when the Big Ten was like, we're good, they probably went, we're I guess we're just academic. And there's probably more people on that campus that are like, no, we're an academic institution. Sports,
well, you have the
big time sports.
The
big time sports like football.
The Big Ten has heavily invested too in having good academics with their school to go along with having Michigan, great school, Ohio State, great school. It's getting harder and harder to get into the University of Illinois. We all know about Northwestern. Like Stanford is in my opinion, kind of that perfect mix of like, hey, you have that sport history along with the fact, oh, you're adding another prestigious school in terms of academics to the Big Ten. It hypothetically seemed like the match made in heaven, but I think this boils back down to what we've kind of talked about a lot. When you want to make sure that you matter right now and you're clicking right now and you're winning football games right now, because when this Super League eventually gets created, you want to have a seat at the table. You want to be a relevant winner. You have to be someone that says, oh my God, how can we have a Super League without having this Nebraska football team that has has had 5 straight 9-win seasons? They're competing at a high level. It'd be bad if the Super League didn't have it. I think you saw that happen to Stanford, where Stanford had fallen so far back, where the Big Ten kind of looks at them and goes, well, it's not like they're adding any competition. It's not like they're going to move the needle in terms of beating SEC teams or being a best conference. That's why it's important to win and be invested right now.
All right, when we come back, we need an Archie Wilson discussion every single day.
No, we don't.
Between now and the end of time.
No, we don't. We do not.
Nebraska did something very interesting for Archie Wilson over the weekend that I will share with y'all when we come back. It's Gary and Matt on 1620 The Zone. All right, Red Out Week on 1620 The Zone, presented by Union Bank and Trust. Feel good about where you bank. Member FDIC. They got a beautiful location all around town. So welcome, Union Bank and Trust. It is a Red Out Week on your home of the Huskers. 1620 The Zone. How long before when I continue to say that am I going to get a cease and desist?
I think you should just keep going until you get one. Just keep doing it. I'm reading my Cincinnati preview right now.
Okay.
I just keep looking at it over and over again. As you see here, there's already things that are underlined and highlighted and whatnot, and I just keep like a psycho. I just keep reading it back and forth and like re-highlighted notes, as if anything on the field is going to change from me like reading it.
How are they going to deal with a dual threat, 6'3", 235-pound quarterback?
Well, I'm worried about that because Brendan Sorsby, who you're referring to, actually averaged 10 carries a game last season. So this isn't like he can run. There's a difference between he's a runner and he can run. He's not he can run. He's a runner. And then you got to factor in the fact that they got two pretty damn good running backs as well. And one of them transferred from Wisconsin last year, Tyree Walker, who was pretty impressive at times for the Badgers. So I don't know. I know that this isn't our like optimism, pessimism segment yet, but it'll be a game. It'll be a game.
All right, we can all share our favorite memories of Barry Jackson Jr. being a Husker and now being a Bearcat. He committed to the wrong Satterfield. Actually,
a lot of people thought that the two Satterfields were related for a little bit until we found out they're just not, which is kind of crazy.
A unique name.
They talk a little bit different. One has a little bit of a Southern twang to him. All right. As the season gets closer, and you already know this because he's been here for a while, Mike Eckler is the most fascinating man in Lincoln. And he is tasked with turning things around. Hidden yardage. That is going to be a phrase that we are going to beat into the ground. Hidden yardage. So, what game this year will Nebraska have a punt return longer than 22 yards? How long will it take?
Ooh.
Because this is a good trivia question. Do you know when the last time that Nebraska football had a punt return of 22 yards or more was?
2019?
Close.
21?
Friday night game.
Friday night.
Or no, a Saturday night game, excuse me. It was a night game. October 1st, 2022. Trey Palmer against Indiana. 22-yard punt return. Nebraska hasn't had one of those since. So that's part of the special teams thing. And then there's Archie. I know people don't want to hear about Archie because they're like, guy hasn't even punted yet, and you guys are giving him the Ray Guy Award.
You are. I don't want to talk about him because I don't like punting.
Okay, so I talked to somebody over the weekend who has been at every practice. And I said, you got to tell me about this guy. He said, Sharpie. He said, when there's no rush, he is able to just pin it like at the one or the two. He said it's incredible. Like when he's just punting and they tell him where to kick it, like he can place it there. And I said, okay, what about when there's a rush?
Thank you.
Okay, what about when people are coming at him? And he goes, we're going to find out Thursday night. But he said, he said, what you guys are hearing and what you're talking about on the radio, he goes, he ain't lying. Man, he can do some wild stuff. So now everybody is like, okay, let's see this. So they went a step further with him. George Darlington said this the other day. It's, we've talked about the Archie Wilson story. Mm-hmm. You're that far away from home. You're 18 years old. They just drop you in a foreign country. And they're like, hey, welcome. That he has never seen a college football game, let alone participated in a college football game. That will be Thursday night. Coach Deeds said this the other day. You know what they did? They took Archie Wilson to the Kansas City Bears preseason game Friday night so he could experience American football in person. Wow.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That is awesome. So that on House Rules, it was in the first segment of the podcast. Matt Rule revealed, he goes, not only has he never played American football, he's never even attended a game. That game that he will play in Arrowhead will be his first ever like football experience in his life. I didn't have any red flags as much as I was just like, oh, that's dope. Like that's just cool, to just like literally just be placed into that, like such a big moment like that. And honestly, I'm sure you can tell Archie about the significance of it. I really don't think he truly knows the significance of it, if we're being honest. But I do think it's great that they brought him to Arrow. I mean, see the lay of the land. Look what it looks like. Get a feel of the wind,
Coach D said the plan was.
I think that's smart.
By the way, Coach D, and he doesn't BS me. He's pretty high. He's pretty high on this team. He likes what he sees, and he's at practice frequently. I was like, okay. I said, no BSing now. I was like, no. He goes, he goes, and then he went into a couple other descriptions. But he was like, yeah. He goes, I like what I'm seeing. But I thought when he said that they were going to take Archie Wilson down for the preseason game, I'm like, brilliant. He not only gets to see a football game in person, but he gets to go to the stadium that he's going to be punting in, because they're not going to show. They're busting down on Wednesday. I think they go straight to the hotel. It's not like they're going to go do a walkthrough at Arrowhead. So the first time they get there will be when the specialists are the first on the field, and he comes out in t-shirt and shorts and looks around and goes, "Wow,
yeah,
I can hear how loud this place is."
I bet they got it.
I thought that's like a small detail that they took care of.
Well, once again for him to just never have played football before in his life, and us to be this excited about what he's going to do and how he's going to perform is uncanny in and of itself. I mean, I don't think I've ever really can recall an athlete who's never played the sport once coming into a new team at a higher level and being like, oh my God, he's gonna come and make an impact.
Hey, Torrey Taylor had a punt blocked in his freshman year at Iowa. I mean, he's going to go through some struggles, but everything that they're saying is real.
The whole roll left, punt left, roll right, punt right is absolutely wild. Like, I don't think people recognize how much of an advantage that is, dependent on, because you can look at the tape and be like, hey, this punt returner likes to use the left sideline more than he likes to use the right sideline, or these are his tendencies. When you have a guy like that, you can just play into whatever opposite hand you're going through with the punt returner. Like, it is I think we just kind of say it as like, I'm not saying you, but I think it gets thrown out there like, oh, it's a novelty, it's cool. No, it's like a real special teams advantage that anywhere on the field, this guy can just put it.
Hey, there's also the thing you got to work with, the mental part. So let's say Nebraska goes 3 and out, and you're like, oh, but then there's a buzz in the stands because the punting unit is coming on the field, and you're like, wait a minute, coach, I thought 3 and out was bad. And they're like, they're here to see you.
So here's a funny thing too. You really did get yourself a get out of jail free card on that first 3 and out of the year, right? I mean, that's just what that is. Because now we're like, oh my God, he's here. He looks great. Number 83.
Put it on the board. Thank you, Coach Jackson at South Dakota State. He said if Andrew Marshall is returning punts, they'll have more than a 22-yarder on Thursday. He would know. Coached him at Idaho. Good luck to the Jacks this weekend.
I think, unfortunately, I don't know. Well, I don't know. I think they probably will have multiple returners. Didn't they communicate that they're going to have multiple PRs out there? So, I mean, Barney was first on the depth chart.
All right, coming up in about 30 minutes, Evan Bland will stop by with his somewhat final thoughts. Matt Rule speaks on Tuesday. Will we know who the tackles are by Tuesday? Or has one guy that's getting crushed said, not so fast, my friends?
Yeah.
Mr. Pritchett. All right, hour 3 around the corner. Gary and Matt with Peter on 1620 The Zone. All right, an either or. You got an all expense paid trip. Nebraska's bye weekend, the end of September. You going to Alabama, Georgia, or the Ryder Cup?
Ryder Cup. I'm going to the Ryder Cup. Alabama, Georgia is one of those things, like, it happens. We've seen it a lot. We've seen it plenty. I think both those teams are actually going to be very good this year. I love Alabama in the SEC this year, by the way. I'm picking them to win the SEC. The Ryder Cup, it has a different feel this year. I think just with now that Tommy Fleetwood wins this, PGA event, heading into it, Scotty Scheffler has been so dominant. There's been a lot of trash talk from the American side being like, we don't want to lose again this year. You have the interesting dynamic with Keegan Bradley, like being the captain, Bethpage Black, incredible course, New York. Like I'm going to the Ryder Cup this year. I think it's going to be electric.
Peter, all expense paid trip. You going to Athens between the hedges for a night game between Alabama and Georgia, or 3 days of Americans just giving the Euros the business?
I think I'm going to go to Athens.
Okay.
I would like to see the Ryder Cup at some point.
Well, we won't have to see Patrick Cantlay, which is thank God. He would be a distraction if I had to play with him.
Is he? So he didn't make the top 6, correct? And
you can't have him in the Ryder Cup. He does. What, we're going to do one swing every, I don't know, hour? I mean, they put him on the clock. I don't know how you root for the guy, because the slow play is a killer. Like, good for Tommy Fleetwood being able to do what he did yesterday, having to play with him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. Now, so I'm looking at the points here. DeChambeau, English, Henley, Schauffele, Spawn, Scheffler, all automatically qualified.
Keegan Bradley should make himself a player. Player.
He's in the top 12.
Yeah, he should.
He's playing good enough golf, especially over the last couple of weeks, for it to be the case. I like the U.S. team. I think if you just went with the top 12, I'd be totally fine with it. Maybe, I don't know, if you want to bring in maybe someone more experienced than Maverick McNeely, who's been on bigger stages before, I wouldn't push back against that, but he's played some really good golf. So we'll see. But I'm excited. I'm incredibly excited. But I will say this, to Peter's point, going to Athens, the viewing experience of going to a football game is much greater than going to a golf event. And I can only imagine that at times Bethpage Black is going to be a zoo, just an absolute zoo in terms of trying to find spots of where to watch and how to interact with people, and just so many. And it's going to get rowdy. I mean, I don't think it's going to get Waste Management Open rowdy, but it's going to get pretty damn rowdy over there.
I have been lucky enough to go to both of those events. Well, not an Alabama-Georgia game, but a game at Sanford Stadium. And then when the Ryder Cup was up in the Twin Cities in 2016.
Oh.
It's a little bit different of a viewing, but it definitely is pro-USA.
Oh, God.
I mean, they want you to celebrate the red, white, and blue. And now, people are fired up in this country.
Mm-hmm.
You're out in New York. You got a bunch of New Yorkers. The U.S. looks like they have a pretty good team. I mean, I would wear earplugs if I was a Euro playing in the Ryder Cup in a month.
Did you when you
Great course for the Ryder Cup too?
When you went to the Ryder Cup, did you do the radio thing where you get the little earbud for the radio that it's telling? What do you mean? Why are you laughing at me and saying no like that?
No, I don't even do that when I've gone to a NASCAR race.
It's what? It's an incredible tool. You get to know exactly what's happening at all times and on the golf course. I think it's one of the best tools that I've run into at a sporting event. I went to Erin Hills, the U.S. Open, and I grabbed it, and I did the first 2 hours without it, and I did the last 4 hours with it, and it completely changed it.
I think it was cool to be there one time, and I was lucky enough. A friend of mine is a sponsor, works for the company that was sponsoring an event there, and so he said, "Hey, I got a pass." Much better to watch on TV. There's just so much going on.
Oh
yeah,
I think golf in general is the ultimate. I would much rather watch it on TV.
I think volleyball is the opposite. So the great weekend that was in Lincoln with volleyball, except for love being it, okay? We know how to cheer for volleyball in Lincoln, okay?
Oh, were they?
I saw all
We
sorts
do
of-
not need. People were clamoring for D. Wayne.
They were.
Wow.
The young lady that was the MC. Oh, my ears. But so that's if you ever went over to Ralston or when they were at Baxter and saw Love B, that's what kind of their thing is. They didn't, I don't know, different. And they were a big sponsor this weekend. You gotta let that thing breathe. Okay. It's volleyball. It's Nebraska. Okay. We know what we're doing. Okay. We know how to cheer. You don't need to be telling us when to cheer. Okay.
That's crazy.
It's just but it was Love B. And so that's what they do. It's just, that was not the environment because a lot of people are like, we don't need an MC just hollering at us. Okay. We just need Rich. Okay. Rich on the PA. Okay. And the volleyball that was on the floor. But I think volleyball is a better sport in person than on television. And it's great that the sport is on television a lot more, but I think you get a better appreciation for how powerful and athletic volleyball is at that level, like this weekend, the 3 days, than you do on TV. And it's also you always have the debate of, okay, are we going to do the backline cam? What shot are we going to use?
Yeah.
I just think in person, and it's not just at the John Cook Arena or PBA this weekend or at Memorial Stadium, but if you go to Sokol, the atmospheres are great and you get to see it up close. So I think volleyball on TV is one that doesn't do it quite justice.
I agree with the power and strength aspect from it. I can see how that's the case. I've just always been in the camp now, Gary, of like, I think that every sport is just better of just me sitting on my couch and watching it. But like, that's not necessarily to do with the breakdown of different angles and the appreciation of sport, and more so to do with I'm just a homebody and I have my spot on my couch and I like to be on my spot on my couch and I like to watch that game. And when I get rowdy, I don't need to worry about standing up or worry about, bothering other people or anything like that. Like I'm just in the confines of my own home. But I've been to one in-person volleyball game, and the energy, and it was Wisconsin versus Nebraska when Nebraska broke the 10-year streak of not being able to beat Wisconsin. Like the energy and the loudness and just like how that fan base is just on pins and needles on every single point.
Yep.
Like there's not a break. Like, yeah, Nebraska's got to score 75 points. You're going to be in on all 75 points that they're going to end up scoring. It's hard to even compare that to other sports that you would go and watch in person.
See, I also think auto racing and baseball and hockey, I think you got to go see those in person.
Auto racing, really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You think that a NASCAR race is better in person than on TV?
Yes.
Okay. Because because I haven't been to one. I've never really gotten that vibe because I like the fact that watching it on TV, I see every single turn and I see every single car. And that's now with the next gen cars, you have to kind of know the miles per gallon and the gas and everything like that. And so like that's one where it's just become way over analytical in terms of the broadcast, where I imagine it could be tough watching it within the stands. Baseball's an in-person sport.
Yep. And so is hockey.
Yeah.
Because hockey moves too quick. Even in high definition on TV, it still doesn't do it justice how great a sport it is.
I think in person hockey is, there are so many people that I know that don't like sports that I've taken them to hockey games. They go, wow, that was great. Like that. Wow, that was fun. There's a reason why the Chicago Blackhawks are bad at hockey and people go to those games all the time. It's not because they want to see Frank Nazar. It's because
Big news this weekend.
Yeah. Signed a good contract. It'll be good. Him and Bedard for the future. Got to get better on defense. It's about like the ambiance, the sound, the skates digging into the ice, the sticks hitting the ice, the slap shot, the post, everything like coming together. Even myself, like someone who played it for so long, I lose the puck on TV.
Yeah.
Plenty.
Well, that's why one time they had a glowing puck.
That was look.
We went, okay.
What is this?
Maybe bring back the robot for the NFL.
That was one of the stupidest things I've ever seen.
All right, when we come back, okay, another sign that we're back at the start of the season. Digits from Stu Manji. Something we were talking about earlier about Nebraska under Rule giving up 3 touchdowns or more. They're 1-8. If they give up 4 touchdowns or more, they're 0-5. So for everybody that's saying, hey, Dana, score 35. If that defense gives up 31, we got some little digits for you to discuss. Evan Bland still to come in the hour with his thoughts on game week for Nebraska, Cincinnati, 8 o'clock Thursday night. Will it start at 8 or will it get bumped because Boise State and USF are going into overtime?
I think we're fine. We're 3.5 hours. It could be a competitive game, but I think it's a big enough
but the
gap.
thing you got to think about, what if you have a weather delay? That time of the year.
Yeah. Well, I checked the weather last night in Kansas City. It's supposed to rain in the morning and then be cloudy and about 68 degrees
talking
for game
Tampa.
time. Well, I was about to say, so that could happen too.
All right, break. We'll be back. Evan Bland still to come. Plus, more of our thoughts on the Big Ten season. That will it include a local coach of the year?
Whoa.
It's Gary and Matt with Peter on 1620 The Zone. All right, we got tickets to Rascal Flats to give away coming up at the 9 o'clock hour.
I'm just laughing because you go, you big Rascal Flats fan? And I go, no, not really, not particularly. You go, okay, come up with a creative question to give out to the people. So I will tell you right now, it's going to be creative. It's going to be different. Good luck. Good luck. It's gonna be a weird one.
It's gonna be fun.
No, I'm gonna put it into my wheelhouse. This is gonna be a Matt McMaster Rascal Flats edition. So good luck to everybody back out there. 9 o'clock.
Any concern? I just want to preface this by saying Nebraska has to replace two guys that spent this month in NFL training camps in the interior of the defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Whether whatever emotion you had about his departure to go to Florida State, Tony White was a pretty good defensive coordinator. Now, his defense is a little bit different. Sometimes he'd just be like, hey, the defense is go make a play. Where Butler's is, all right, page 9 of the Cheesecake Factory menu, this is what we do on this scenario. And
in a way.
Any concern that for a program that's gone 13-12 in 2 years with just woebegone offense, still has had a top 20 scoring defense. Last year, Nebraska was 17th in the country. They gave up 19.5 points a game. You'd think you'd win more football games.
Yes.
Now, there was a 56 burger in there, but let's go to 13. Nebraska gave up 18.3. We are pretty convinced, and you should be, that Nebraska's offense will look different, feel different, will have plays that are pet plays, things that maybe run in the first quarter that are just as a show. And then, hey, didn't you guys run that in the first? Yeah, we did. We wanted to see how they defend it. Now we're running it in the third. That if the offense takes a nice little step forward and Nebraska's defense for the third straight year is top 20 scoring defense, it does what? And then the other question is, any concern that Nebraska will not be a top 20 scoring defense for the third straight year?
So if Nebraska's defense is the same this year as it was last year, Nebraska will win 9 games.
Okay.
At least 9 games. Because I don't think you could give me a reason as to why you don't think the offense is going to be better. You have better wide receivers, statistically proven better wide receivers.
You have two guys that are 50-50 ball demons.
Yes.
In Mills and Key.
Yeah. You have an offensive
Hunter's
line
not bad.
that you have an offensive line that has just another year to develop. Some of these guys, another year of playing together. You have a running back who, once again, is just coming back after being great in this new offense that he's going to be playing in. And you have incredibly athletic tight ends, and you've upped the athleticism of those tight ends, and you have a 5-star quarterback that has now a full 13 games under his belt. I don't think people understand how incredibly important it was that Dylan Raiola went a whole season and started every single game, and he's no longer a freshman. The biggest thing was, the inexperience. He hasn't been there before. He hasn't been in close games. He hasn't played against top competition. He did all of that. Like so there's this offense is going to be better. There's no doubt about it. If the defense can be the same, it's going to be a 9-win team. I just don't think it will be.
Somebody should ask Dylan what advice he'd give to Bryce Underwood, who has more pressure than Raiola had at Michigan now as the starter as an 18-year-old. So with that said, let me give you some stats. If you're not already, and you should be, because we talk about them a lot of the time, and shout out Eric, Stu Manji on Twitter. So Dave Fight had a column or a story on Husker Max. Who doesn't write for Husker Max? Okay.
My article comes out this week for Husker Max.
My gosh.
By the way,
how y'all have time,
First
to write
off,
for Husker
Max? Wait. BS, Peter. Because Peter just goes, add Matt to the list. Matt's been on the list. Matt's
he was on.
I guess
Matt, he was on before he started here.
Matt was a day oneer with Husker Max. Everybody doing, if one person says to me, oh, he's doing it like Josh Peterson. No, Josh Peterson was doing it like me. Okay. I just want to throw it out there. So
saying that Josh followed you.
Yes.
Josh is a follower, not a leader.
In this situation, Josh, I'm assuming Caleb probably told him, "Hey, Matt does radio. Matt writes for us. Matt makes,
Oh,
Matt's been doing well. You should do it too." And Josh has written, and Josh has done very well.
yeah. Josh got some good,
got great
some
articles.
good stuff. Are you guys
Good
going to
work,
have a
boys.
competition on who gets more clicks?
Oh,
Is your
Well,
article going to? What is your
this
article
could
going to
be
be about?
interesting.
So I write 3. Last year, I have to actually. I'm getting on a call with Caleb today. Last year, I wrote 3 different articles. I wrote
For the
3
whole year, just 3?
No, a week.
Oh.
3 articles a week.
How do you guys have time?
Oh, well, they're easy. They're about 450 to 550. 3 keys to the game. Then I wrote a Big Ten pick'em article, like against the spread. Then I wrote a Big Ten power ranking article, and I wrote a thing called the Turning Point. The Turning Point was like my post game article that basically I hone in on one play or one sequence of plays that completely changed the game, and I kind of give you. I go, this is how it happened. I give like a cinematic recap. This is the play. This is the effect of the play. Here are all the stats after the play. This is why it changed it so much.
Okay. Are we going to
Great
have
article.
we're going to have a click off between you and
I mean, I would
Josh?
win because I don't know if I'm going to be, my intake is going to be way higher than Josh.
Okay.
Josh and I write very different articles. He writes the, revisionist history, dive back down deep into what could have been and what happened. And, and then
There's a lot of good content on
there's a
HuskerMax.com.
ton of good
I'm
content.
surprised the website hasn't gone down. There's just so much. I think everybody that's going to the game on Thursday night actually writes for Husker Max. It's amazing. All right,
It's not behind a paywall.
So Dave Fight, and Dave is fantastic. So follow Fight Can't Write as well. So the discussion about defense, and Stu Manji shares this, and it was kind of in a conversation with Dave Fight. Going back to your opening segment about games in which your defense gives up 21 or 28 or more points. Nebraska's national ranking when they give up more than 21 points, 122nd in the country, 17th in the Big Ten. When they give up more than 28, they're 116th in the country, 15th in the Big Ten. For clarity, that's the ranking of the win percentage in those situations.
Oh, okay.
So Nebraska has the 122nd best win percentage when your defense gives up 21 or more. For comparison, thank you for including this, Eric. For comparison, Ohio State ranks first and second in both categories. So when
Wow.
Nebraska gives up 21 or more, they have the 122nd best win percentage, next to last in the Big Ten. When they give up 28 or more, they have the 116th best win percentage, 15th in the league. Ohio State, doesn't matter. Their offense is a wagon. They are 1 and 2 in that category. That must be a nice life to live. Oh, by the
Oh,
way,
God.
a nice life to live. You see the highlights of Chris Henry this weekend, who's going to Ohio State to play wide receiver?
They get another one.
Him and Jeremiah Smith are going to be playing together next year. Brian Hartline is living the life, which leads me to a thing from Buckeye Ross earlier in the weekend. He said, by the way, in the Equitable Bank inbox, maybe Nebraska could help their own cause beating Cincinnati. Might aid in getting Satterfield out of there, and perhaps Brian Hartline moving on to be the next head coach at Cincinnati. He interviewed for the job the last time it was open. I think
Okay.
at this point, everyone in the Big Ten wants him out of Ohio State.
Or Cincinnati would be one hell of a job for Pat Fitzgerald. Throwing that out there. Still in the Midwest, still in Ohio, not too far away from the family, who's all still in Evanston. They're all still there right now. That's a job in Cincinnati that has produced a lot of high caliber coaches over the last, 15, 20 years. That could be a good job for Fitz. Here's the funny thing I love this Jumanji stat, but what's very curious about it is that I think that this winning percentage, it's going to be incredible how this might shift. And what I mean by that is these 122nd winning percentage when giving up more than 28 points and 116th when giving up 28 or more. This is indicative of having a bad offense, of having an offense that just was not cohesive in the first 2 years under Matt Rule. I think that maybe these numbers could end up being pretty similar this season, but not because the offense is bad, not because the offense can't carry their weight. It may be because Nebraska is giving up 21 points more often now, 28 points more often now. So you could end up seeing Like you might end up at the end of the year as like, hey, this is a pretty similar case of like Nebraska wasn't too successful and they gave up a lot of these points, but it was because they were just giving it up way more often.
So this is just isn't a Matt Rule thing, even though he's 0-5 when Nebraska gives up 28 or more, 1-8 when he gives up 21 or more. Last 51 games that Nebraska football has played that the defense has given up 4 or more touchdowns, Nebraska is 8-43. All right. On that note, Evan Bland will join us next from the World Herald ahead of Nebraska Cincinnati. The line has stayed the same. It's 6.5. The total has gone up. Feels like a 31-24 game.
I think the line will move down, actually.
Really? Like significant?
Like a point.
Whoa.
I think
a whole point?
I think when we get to Thursday, I think there are going to be a lot of people who start going Cincinnati plus 6.5. I think a lot of sharp money is going to end up going on Cincinnati.
All right. Evan Bland from the World Herald joins us next on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back in. It is game week. We have football Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, but we focus on Thursday at 8 o'clock at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, where Evan Bland will have a front row seat in that beautiful press box way up near the heavens where Lamar Hunt is. We welcome him now. Good morning, Evan.
Morning, guys.
Have you ever been in that press box?
The last time I was at Arrowhead in the press box was the 06 Big 12 championship game. I was college writer for the Daily Nebraskan in that game, and I remember it being as cold as the moon down there. And I think we had to do some like chipping of the glass to look outside like you're warming up your car in the middle of the winter. It was like we had to chip away at that thing. I remember not being dressed warm enough even in there, and it was fun. I mean, obviously it didn't go the way that Nebraska wanted it to, but that was a cool experience, and looking forward to seeing what this version looks like.
Yeah, I remember hearing stories of people that drove back from that game that they would stop in Nebraska City and their body was still frozen or their cheeks were still bright red from sitting out in the conditions. The conditions will be much different Thursday night. The quarterback will be much different, but that guy that played in that game was pretty good as well. What narrative do you think in the opening game of the season Dylan Raiola can change?
I think he can change. Well, I think his physique could come into play. I think he could be a little bit more of a runner. Maybe that's something that becomes more of a staple of his game. And I think we've talked about it before, but I think he can change that narrative that he's kind of a big play guy and that he's going to hang in the pocket and throw deep. And he didn't always do that last year, but there were moments where it was just like, you got to get the ball out, and he took some sacks. So I think we've heard how many times from Dana Holgerson this offseason that take the routine plays and those are going to become big plays. Like, this is a game to me where that could really come into play. Maybe there are going to be a number of checkdowns to Emmett Johnson or short passes to Luke Lindenmeyer or whomever, and we'll see if Nebraska can sustain some drives on offense. So we've been speculating all offseason about what that offense could be, whether it can pick up a little more slack, be more productive, take on the look of an offense that you need to contend in the Big Ten. And I think Cincinnati's the kind of opponent where if that happens, that lends some credibility to that evolution occurring. Like, I don't think if you put 40 up on Akron next week that you feel like the offense has arrived. But if it does come out and can sustain some drives and guys get the ball in space and are able to make explosive plays every now and again, then I think that's something you can say, okay, this is maybe part of this team's DNA this year and what it can be. And we'll see if that offense can have a bigger role in Nebraska winning football games this year.
You know that Matt Rule in the last couple of years has used kind of those media sessions at times to, acknowledge that some players aren't playing as well, to maybe kick them in the butt at times and just be very frank with them and frank with the media of what he thinks about them. And I always get PTSD when one of these occurrences happens because, I'm sure you were there 2 years ago when he talked about Anthony Grant fumbling the football in camp, and then he ended up doing it against Minnesota. But Elijah Pritchett gets put third on this depth chart. Now, the battle for the tackle spot is not over. It's been made very clear that they're still battling for it. But him being made third on the depth chart, but then being told to in the press conferences, hey, he's doing too many mistakes, too many false starts, might be blocking the wrong guy, so on and so forth. Do you think this is an actual voice of concern of like, oh, Elijah Pritchett may not play for this team this year? Or do you think this is kind of Matt Rule trying to give his tackle a kick in the butt and trying to get him going a little bit more before you head to Arrowhead?
Well, I think you talk to Alabama fans about Elijah Pritchett, and they would probably nod their heads and say, yeah, that was some of the frustration that they saw from him when he was playing for the Tide, like it's occasional missed assignments or penalties that would pop up. And so I thought Rule's discussion of Elijah Pritchett was notable because usually when he talks about a player specifically and he's sort of calling him out a little bit or trying to get it going. Usually it seems like those are like off the field sort of things that they're trying to iron out. This was, and Rule made it extremely clear, like this was a performance-based thing, a football on-field kind of thing to figure out. So I think part of it was maybe about Pritchett. I thought he also was very eager to make the point that there are a lot of other good linemen on the team. Like just because like if Elijah Pritchett doesn't win that job, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's entirely because he hasn't been performing well. It very well could mean that Gunnar Gattulla is looking really good, right? Or Turner Corcoran's come back strong and has been a veteran on this Nebraska team for a long time. So I thought he was making a few different points there. Certainly one that Pritchett has all the talent in the world. We saw his physical ability a little bit in the spring event when he's pulling a tractor, down across Memorial Stadium. But if it's not him, there's probably a sense of disappointment a little bit. You're probably not getting your return on investment in terms of the NIL or rev share dollars that have gone his way. But I think you can also then point to guys like Gattulla or Corcoran as success stories and guys who have earned this thing through a competition that's gone on from the spring and into the fall. I mean, Gattulla, we saw what he could do over the majority of last season, and he did it really well. So if it ends up being him, I think Matt Rule's trying to set the tone that that's maybe more of a cause for celebration than a cause for worry about what went wrong with the other guy.
So let's stay with the offensive line, because I think for the first time in a while, Nebraska's interior offensive line from guard, center, guard is stout. I mean, I think when you go Lutovsky to Evans to Spindler, that's a pretty good 3 to have. I mean, I think you feel really good about that. But will we hold the offensive line to a higher standard, Evan, throughout the entire year? Because it seems like of all the position groups that are not the quarterback, they're the ones that want the smoke the most. Doesn't it feel that way? As they've embraced that for Nebraska to have a foundation, they got to be able to move the pile and make holes, and they want everything that comes with it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the reasons people are so excited about what the offense can be. It's Raiola and it's Holgorsen and the skill guys, but it's absolutely the offensive line. I think that's the position group you probably point to that's in the best shape of any on the entire roster, where you're going to have a starting five. I agree. I think that interior trio is as strong and as experienced, salty maybe as any Nebraska's had recently. We talked about the tackle competition. You still have Teddy Prohaska and Tyler Knack in that mix as well. So I mean, you're talking about going 8 deep, like comfortably, before you even have to dip into guys who haven't played much before. And we've heard great things about what Sam Sledge or Grant Bricks or Preston Tamua, Jason Machachok are doing behind the scenes. Like it's in a great spot where those guys next year, there's going to be a line change, so to speak, where it'll be those guys' turn. And it kind of reminds you of the Nebraska teams of old, the old pipeline tradition where you brought in these players, these linemen, and they just disappeared for 3 years. You didn't really see them. You heard a little bit about them, and then they come out as upperclassmen and they look like they're ready to roll. I think that's what Nebraska's got going on right now. There's vocal leadership too. I think that's important at a position like that. I mean, Justin Evans is coming along. He's gone from no words to being one of the leaders at center. Obviously, Henry Lutovsky goes to media days. Rocco Spindler could host his own podcast. It would be well listened to. Like, these are guys that I think back up what they're doing on the field with what they're saying. And so, yeah, it's in a great position. And again, I think you look at Thursday's game and as one where you can put a lot of stock into what the line can be. Like, if they can move that Cincinnati defensive line, which is pretty good, then I think then that really adds a little fuel to the fire that this offensive line could be a real spark for the offense this year.
So last season, Brendan Sorsby for Cincinnati had 9 rushing touchdowns. He averaged almost 10 carries per game. Cincinnati's going to have 2 running backs. Evan Pryor, he had 7.5 yards per carry last season. And then the Wisconsin transfer, Tyree Walker, who had 860 yards and 10 touchdowns last year. And also, too, it's going to be a pretty new look wide receiver core for the Bearcats heading into Arrowhead. considering what Nebraska has lost in the defensive end, which was their 2 defensive linemen who were known for how stout they were in the run game, how concerned are you that Cincinnati might be able to ground and pound on Thursday and extend the game and maybe control the game from a time of possession standpoint against Nebraska?
Yeah, I mean, I think if I'm Cincinnati, that's the first thing I'm trying for sure. You look at what Nebraska lost up front, of course, and it's a front seven that's largely unproven. You have guys who were more ensemble role player types last year who were stepping into bigger roles. Even the linebacker group. I mean, you have a transfer and Marquez Watson Trent and Vincent Shavers who's coming on, and Jamin Wright hasn't really played full seasons in a while because of his injuries. Like, I'm absolutely going to test that if I'm Cincinnati, and you can bet that a whole bunch of Big Ten teams are going to be looking at that film too and seeing how that goes, because if that element of the game, stopping the run and being able to pressure the quarterback, doesn't work for Nebraska, I mean, that changes the whole narrative of what the season can be. You can have a great secondary, but it won't matter if your guys aren't able to stop the run. The Sorsby mobility piece, I think, is interesting to me too. Nebraska hasn't really played a lot of mobile quarterbacks under Matt Rule and their 3-3-5 defense. So how they handle him kind of rolling out or using his legs or those 3rd and short situations will be really interesting to me. And I mean, I keep saying it, but like it's a game where you can put a lot of stock into what happens. So if Cincinnati's able to move that thing, Nebraska's gonna have to take a look at that. And that's been an area of strength consistently under Matt Rule these last couple of years, has been that ability to stop the run. They've very consistently been in that top 10 or 15 in terms of yards allowed per carry, and I think 15 total rushing touchdowns allowed the last 2 years, which is top 5 in the country. So I think we're going to learn a lot about just kind of the status of that front seven. And you mentioned the running backs they have that are pretty good. I think Cincinnati feels like it upgraded its own offensive line through the portal to where that could be a little bit of a strength too. So I'll be curious to see how many guys Nebraska rotates, especially when the game's still in doubt up front. I mean, are you talking 4 or 5, or is it going to be in that 6 to 7 range, just kind of bringing in different guys in specific packages and things like that? So there's a lot to learn for sure, and I think Cincinnati's going to provide a really interesting challenge.
It's game 1 of 12. It's a long season. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be good. There's going to be bad. There's going to be But you know what the buildup is to Thursday night. Win or lose, does this game define the season?
Well, it's certainly going to define the first month. I think whatever happens Thursday, no one's minds are going to be changed by what happens against Akron or Houston Christian. So, that's going to be the tone into mid-September when Michigan comes into town. If you lose to Cincinnati, but you figure something out and you beat Michigan and you get on a roll, I think a lot of that can be forgiven. But I mean, I put this opener among the top, 3 or 4 most important games of the season for Nebraska, over a good number of their Big Ten games. I just think the tone that they can set, the atmosphere that's there, the opportunity they have to make an impression nationally because it being on a Thursday night on the TV window that it's in is really interesting. Who knows what may come from kind of the Chiefs connection this week. Maybe Patrick Mahomes is there and becomes a little bit more of a vocal supporter for Raiola in Nebraska, or a little bit more out in front of that. So I think we'll probably learn a few things even on game night that could factor into how we see what this team can be this year. So yeah, it's huge. We've seen the other end of it. I mean, Nebraska goes to Ireland a couple of years ago. They go to Illinois in 21. I mean, absolutely, those games set a tone for the season that Nebraska was never really able to overcome. So if you can get a big game like this, when a ton of people are going to be paying attention against a pretty good power opponent, that absolutely can propel you for a month or longer, for sure.
All right, Evan. I'll be doing this with all the local people that we have interviewing throughout the week. If you want to give me your record prediction and what you think the score of the Cincinnati game will be.
I think Nebraska's going to go 8-4 in the regular season. Is kind of where I'm at right now. I think they'll probably win one that'll be pretty exciting, and maybe they'll lose one that you don't expect. And they're favored by about a touchdown
6.5
Thursday night, 6.5. Okay,
Yes.
I think it's going to be in doubt into the fourth quarter. I think they win by around 10 would be my guess. I would probably say somewhere in the range of 31-21.
Okay.
All right. Looking forward to it. We'll see you throughout the week, and then we'll see you in Kansas City on Thursday. Great job. By the way, enjoyed the college football preview in the paper yesterday. Great job by you and your colleagues. And as always, we appreciate the conversation.
Appreciate it, guys. Yep, we made it. Football season's here. Thanks.
Thank you, Evan.
That is Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald.
So,
Coward pick of 8-4.
It's the easy
Be
pick.
bold. 7-5 or 9-3 or go 10-2.
You're saving yours until Thursday. I've made what we are calling the coward pick, which I'll just call it the smart pick of 8-4. Okay, the most well put together and statistical pick and historical pick of 8-4. You ask a great question about, does this define the season? And I think
I know what my answer is.
and some people would say, Gary, some people would say, you're crazy, man. Like it's week 1. There's 12 games. Like you can't just come out and say the first game when you have 11 left defines the season. But I don't think what people understand is if Nebraska beats Cincinnati in week 1, their chances of beating Michigan in week 4, in my opinion, are so much higher than if they lose to Cincinnati in week 1, because there's a 3-week stretch in between Cincinnati and Michigan. You don't play a Power 5 team that you could actually lose to for 3 weeks. So if you end up and you beat Cincinnati for 3 weeks, you get to ride that wave. You get to stack the Akron win and stack the Houston Christian win, and you get to really believe, hey, we're a great team. We can go out, and Michigan's coming to us. They don't even have their head coach. This is a game that we for sure can win and should win. But if you lose to Cincinnati, for 3 weeks, you're kind of thinking, well, it doesn't really matter what you do because of one time you played a power opponent, you lost. Are you really that good? Are you like, can you really carry any momentum for Akron or Houston Christian? The last time you played a real opponent, you lost to them. And your odds of beating Michigan, in my opinion, go down because you don't have that momentum.
Who would have thought that 26 games, and 26th will be on Thursday, it would take until the 26th game for Matt Rule to have the most important game that he's coached at Nebraska up to this point, Thursday night? I'll answer that question when we come back, because I'm going to be different than most people on if Thursday night will define the season. We'll do that in the last hour. Plus, coming up next, Rascal Flats tickets. You can go see the boys who are back. They were taking a hiatus. They were going to break up. Now they're back. And you can go see them courtesy of 1620 The Zone. So stay tuned. That's coming up after the top of the hour here on 1620 The Zone. Gary and Matt with Peter on The Zone on Red Week on your home of the Huskers.
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for the question that I came up with that we're gonna use to give out Rascal Flatts tickets. For those who know, Rascal Flatts performed this song, "Life is a Highway," which is a part of what I think is the greatest racing movie of all time, Cars. It's an incredible movie. They're known best for this. So here's your question: if you want to win, the Rascal Flatts is bringing "Life is a Highway" tour to Omaha. It's starting January 24th at the CHI Health Center in Omaha. Listen all week to 1620 The Zone for your chance going away into the show. We're going to give away, Peter, 2 tickets here?
Yep.
We're going to give away 2 tickets here. We're going to do a Cars-themed question to give out these Rascal Flatts tickets. The place that they are in Cars for the entirety of the movie is called Radiator Springs. Okay? It's not said in the movie, but Radiator Springs is in a modern-day place in America. What state is Radiator Springs located in? Okay, if you can email us, Peter, what's your email?
P. Krenzer at NRG Media.
P. Krenzer at NRG Media. Email.
Call too. Did you want to do the first one to email you?
I was going to do the first one to email Peter.
I'm emailing in, so I'm just listening.
I'm doing at P. Krenzer at NRG Media. We're doing an email. Email Pete.
Matt has decided email.
First person to email Pete and tell him.
No, I mean, now you got people calling.
I said I did email. I was doing an email base.
People are calling. They want the tickets.
I didn't say to call in. I said to email it.
How many? Hold on. How many tickets do we have?
We're giving away a pair.
We're giving away 2. So it's email to Peter.
All right, Peter, go get us another pair. We'll give away 2 for email and 2 on the phone.
Okay. All right. We'll do it.
Want to do it that way?
Yeah, we'll do it that way.
Same question for both?
Same question for both.
All right.
What
Let's get
state
the phone then.
is Radiator Springs located? Do you know the answer to this question?
Life is a highway. I've been traveling many of them. Yeah, I think so. But I can't give it out. I mean,
No.
yeah.
I did not. I had to relook this up because I thought it was located in a different state.
All right. So you know how to get these tickets. That was kind of interesting. We hope we can secure another pair. Take them away from one of the other shows, Peter. That's what we'll do.
Yeah.
We got listeners on the phone and on email. Now they're confused. All right, we have a winner on the phone. You said
I said email Peter.
You know, and somebody said phone, and all of a sudden the phone blew up.
I never said phone. I said email Peter the entire time. It was Prudon who hijacked it.
All right, good job, Chris. Okay, I asked this question of Evan before the break. Will the game on Thursday night define the season? Probably depends on how you look at Nebraska. If you think they're a playoff team or not. So my wish is simple. Not to be doing the show when Nebraska on their bye week, when I'm thinking about Alabama, Georgia, and the Ryder Cup and the postseason in baseball, is that Nebraska is 2-2. That would be unfortunate. That would not be good. But yes, I think only if Nebraska wins, that defines the season. I don't think if Nebraska loses, which I know has been a popular topic, I think you've brought that up. If they lose, that defines the season. I don't think it does. And I will tell you why. I'll tell you why from the loss part. Because if they lose, there will be people that, will melt. And they'll say what hurts the most, and here comes goodbye, is like they'll be done. Okay? Because you have all this goodwill built up. And I've said if Nebraska doesn't pop in year 3, it's going to break a lot of people. But if your opening game loss derails your season, you are never ready to play. And all of this stuff you've done for 8 months, you are a fraud, you are a fake. Okay? Notre Dame lost week 2 to Northern Illinois, right?
Yes.
They found a way to bounce back. Didn't define their season. Okay? They dealt with adversity. But if Nebraska wins the football game, and I've said this for a long time, this is the year that Nebraska shows everybody if they're capable of being different. And there's going to be a lot of things that are in their way that you'll be able to validate if you're different. It starts Thursday night. A game against a Power 4 team that has been talked about for months. There is so much excitement. There is so much hype. There is so much buildup. You got a head coach that said, we're pretty damn good. Not just good, pretty damn good. I think when you use the word damn, that makes you a 9 or 10 win team. Okay? If you just say pretty, that's an 8 win team. If you just say we're good, that's 7. But when you use the word damn, we're ratcheting it up. We're thinking about 9 to 10. But What haven't you done? You haven't won one of those games to kick off the year where there's a lot of hype.
You haven't.
And you also are in an unfamiliar place. Now, Archie might have already been there. Terry Braden may have already had some fun there. But there's not a lot of guys on the roster that have played in that stadium.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to say that nobody has. I could be wrong. So it's a different environment where you're wearing white and everybody's cheering for you. And you're like,
Yeah.
this is kind of a home game. So there's oddities. There's things that have derailed Nebraska that are like out of the norm.
Oh, yeah.
But if they win a game like this, and if it's 28-21 or something in those lines, or even if it's a closer game and you win a one-score game, that tells me that things look different. And I'm not going to all of a sudden say they're in the playoff if they win on Thursday night, but it will tell me that all of the stuff they've done and said since January 1, okay, you're not lying to me. Because that's what we want to do this year, right?
Sure.
Because we don't want to be lied to. We've been lied to for so long. We've convinced ourselves of these lies. Okay, we've embraced them. We've even told lies.
Yes.
Okay, you don't want to be lied to anymore. You want it to be reality. You want to live in a world of Nebraska football where all of this discussion in the offseason is what's supposed to be the norm from now on around here. And you don't say, it's Kool-Aid. This is the year you retire the Kool-Aid phrase. And we have these discussions in the offseason, and you go, that's what it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the standard that we are reaching and we've gotten our program to, and we're not going back. So I think if they win the football game, and I don't care what manner they do, I think it'll define the season that you can start to go, not go,
Sure.
but if we're grunting, But if they lose, I don't think it defines the season, because that's the scary part to me is you're just going to crater one game and you cratered. It didn't go your way, and all this buildup and all of the good vibes, you've just said, we're out. Hoiberg, it's your turn. Danny Busboom Kelly, let's play another stadium match. How about September 20th? CBS will broadcast it.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of these things with the Matt Rule era there's always been a promise that, hey, this is different. The approach is different. How they do things in the program is different. The emphasis on player development is different. The recruiting is different. The coaching is different. And I don't think there is anything more demoralizing than trying to do things a different way, but then getting the same results, right? Because you've now gone with what you were doing with Riley and what you're doing with Frost, and you get a guy who's doing things very differently than they were. And in your head, you look at it and you say, okay, this is what winning programs do. And for you to have the same result doing that, I think it is crippling to the point where I do think it could define the season. Now, the difference between losing a game like that in week 1 as opposed to losing a game like that in week 9 is that Nebraska has 11 opportunities from that point on to change the narrative, right? But if they lose to Cincinnati, the first quarter of your season until 0-0s against Michigan is going to be, well, nothing is different. Oh, I guess this was fool's gold. I guess they were lying to us. They didn't. The coaching didn't make the impacts that we thought it would. Dylan isn't as good as we thought it. Like, all of that negative connotation and dissertation will define the first quarter of the season. And I just think that can be damning. That can derail you. That has the potential to do that, which is, this game is so important because you don't even want to play with that fire. You don't even want to flirt with that or experiment with that. You want to go into Michigan saying, hey, this is the defining game. This is the turnaround game. This is the signature game, not the, hey, we got to turn around the narrative this season in week 4 because of the shortcomings you had in week 1. That's why I think this week 1 game could define the season.
So BYU, Colorado, Ohio State, Illinois, Northwestern Minnesota. Those have been the Power 4 teams of late. Now, Cincinnati has become a Power 4 team.
Yes.
Move into the Big 12. All of those games, you immediately went, Nebraska's better. Nebraska should win that game, except for Ohio State. That was the COVID game to kick off 52-17, but that opening drive looked great. Having Luke McCaffrey and Adrian Martinez, who got cut by the Jets, looked great. But those are outside of Ohio State in 2020. All those teams you went, Nebraska's better than them. We're doing the same thing. So be different. Be different. Win a football game where there is a fan base that is looking forward to it. Like, is juiced up, have spent money. That's another thing. They've spent money, lots of money, to go to Kansas City. At some point, if you don't reward them, they're going to stop spending their money to go on road games. And there's already a lot of people that have. But there's people that, because it's Kansas City, it's 3 hours away, it's Arrowhead, I want to go see where Mahomes and Kelsey and Taylor Swift live. They're like, I got to go. I want to go to the next night when the Tigers and the Royals play. They're going to stop spending their money. But a lot of people spent money and they're getting excited about it. Okay, they're taking off work on Thursday. Yeah. They've done no vacations this year, so they can go to Los Angeles. They can go to Kansas City. Okay, they can even go to College Park, Maryland, for reasons I don't know why. Or take off another day, a PTO, and go to Minnesota. So there's a lot on the line on Thursday night, and that's why I can't wait to see how this team handles it. Because now, even though they've done a good job of blocking it out, it's the noise has become almost too much. Of people like, here you go, here you go, here you go, here you go. You're supposed to do this, supposed to do this. Hey, now they're back on campus today. The students that are there for the first time, like, hey man, beep today. Let's go. Let's go. This is a playoff year. I can't wait to bundle up and I can't wait to drive to Athens, Georgia to see you play in the playoff. Let's go. Now they've got more people around them and they're starting 100%. To hear about it. And you got a couple of days till you play, and then you got to go play. Yeah. Well, so how do they handle a very immature football program from the head guy all the way down over many past years? Mm-hmm. Time to grow up.
Well, you bring up the students on campus. I'll tell you this right now. The seniors on campus right now, they are restless. Okay. They have only suffered through, non-bowl seasons, mediocre seasons, disappointing games, disappointing losses. That campus right now, with these students who have suffered so much, are absolutely rocking in terms of the fact of like, holy crap, we're going to have a good team. So I think the student section is going to be incredibly rowdy this year at home games. You've just been told for so long that everything is different, that everything is changing, that, they're more talented and they're better coached and they're deeper and, they've built the foundation. And it's just, if you go out there and because the 2019 season, heading into the 2019 season, everybody was incredibly excited. It was as soon as that Iowa game and 18 lost, you were like, all right, I'm ready for 19. Like people were raring and ready to go. And you look at that season compared to this season, there are some kind of similarities between a lot of hype going in, talented team, second-year quarterback. Like there are some parallels between those two teams. But the reason why,
except for one big thing.
Well, the head coaches, obviously.
And the coaches.
Yes. But I'm just talking about how the rosters are made and what the attitude is heading into the season. There are some parallels. But I think the reason why that season you were way more excited than this season is because Nebraska fans have been burned so many times now over the last 6 years that even though there is a lot of merit for you to be happy and excited about this year, and even though there are impartial national media members who are like, this looks like a playoff team, the reason why there's not a lot of hype is because you've suffered year in and year out for the last 6 years. This Cincinnati game, if they go ahead and they win it, this is hey guys, we are different. Things are moving in the right direction. You should be hyped. You should be excited because this team actually is what everybody says it is and what we're saying it is.
Well, and if you do think you're a playoff team and it's going to take 10, you don't lose on Thursday night. It's just pretty plain and simple.
No.
We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll get to some calls. We have winners on both ends for the Rascal Flats tickets.
I believe so.
All right. Now, Peter, you have the challenge of securing us 2 more tickets.
Yeah, I need to figure that part out.
All right, we'll do it.
We'll see what I can do.
Yeah, we owe our listener. All right. Plus, we still have to talk about some of the Big Ten stuff. We've had a busy morning. And I got a thought or two on forever coach Matt Campbell. Matt Campbell will never leave Iowa State. And that might actually be a good thing.
Good for him.
If you're an Iowa State fan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
People in Manhattan, though, are like, Chris Kleiman, you can leave anytime you want. I didn't mind him going for it. I didn't like the particular play call on your own 30.
I minded everything about it.
Random Mike, Oh boy, it is truly game week. We're back with more of Gary and Matt with Peter after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, the coordinators speak today, and then Matt Rule speaks tomorrow. We speak right now, and I'm sure that they will speak about the week 0 games, say special teams and turnovers, average yards per play in the Bublin and Dublin event that led to the Johnsons beating the crap out of each other. 6.7 yards per play, Kansas State, 4.2 Iowa State.
There is nothing more frustrating than having an idea of like, oh, this was the problem of our team last year, and then the problem stays the exact same through the offseason. That's what happened to Kansas State. The same exact problems they had last year, they showed they had them in Ireland. They had problems.
I think Kansas State's problems have been the little things. Like, I like Kleiman, but last year, like little, not major, just glaring, oh my gosh.
Sure.
It was all little things, and it was little things that got him. Now, Dylan Edwards getting hurt before you ever had a chance to snap the ball offensively did not help, but like I got to imagine all of college football is playing week 1. They were taking notes of special teams,
Yeah.
turnovers, elements that you don't expect. And then also, how do you get your offense cranking right away? That'll be big for Nebraska, that you can't just like glide into the season.
Mhm.
Like a lot of offenses really look like it was an exhibition game.
Sure.
Here is Random Mike. Good morning. Happy game week.
Hey, guys, if you're a Husker fan
And a Bud man.
well, it doesn't have to be that.
All right.
But if things ever look more like optimistic, where hope is alive, I mean, this could be really special this year. And how about volleyball yesterday? My goodness.
Incredible.
Telling you, Mike, it
Yeah.
might be a year to remember, or a fall to remember in Lincoln.
Yeah, and Chicago. Hey, Matt, I got to ask you.
Yep.
You're from near Evanston.
Yes, very
are
close.
You a fit? Are you a Fitz guy?
Always have
Do you
been.
feel like this was?
Always have been.
It's in
Always
his
will be.
wheelhouse.
Always have been. Always will be. It's good family.
Is it-
Good family. They did great
isn't
work
that-
for Loyola Academy the last couple of years, being an analyst, leading them to state championships.
Isn't that shocking how that thing all played out?
No,
I mean, were
no,
you shocked?
no, I wasn't. Because, what thing? Him getting the settlement or the Shrekking going on?
No, him getting fired.
Oh, he was never going like he had just built up such a rapport that it did not matter at that point how many wins or losses he had. He was never going to get fired. So yeah, I was shocked. When David Braun was on the sideline for the very first game as a Northwestern head coach, I think that was weird for a lot of people. That's just very different. You just can't imagine that team not being coached by Fitz. But they needed to do it, and he should have gotten fired. I mean, plain and simple. If they did a whole investigation and they found that he didn't know that it was going on, but in my opinion, how can you be the head coach of a program and not know that some of these really just terrible and disturbing things are going on in your program? Like you have to have a pulse on that. So
Oh yeah, you definitely should have known.
he
You
needed
should have known
to
if you
get
didn't know.
fired. But I mean, he's an incredible coach, and when he sued the university, if you knew the lawyers that he was using to go after them, you knew he was going to get paid, and he got paid. And it seems like the initial reports state that there's a lot of teams out there that are very interested in him being the next head coach of their program. So he'll be back in college football next year. For who, we don't know yet.
Yeah, listen about the Cubs. Yeah, we thought Matty Shaw was not ready, but it looks like he's ready, don't you think?
Oh, defensively, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been also since the All-Star break. He's been one of the best hitters. The young guys are playing well. Cade Horton is doing his best Jake Arrieta impression of 2015.
Yeah, Gary, did you catch that defensive play Shaw made on that one play?
Which game?
Yesterday,
Oh.
an absolute bullet to his right, and he got the most unbelievable jump. And I don't know if you saw that, but
Yeah.
that could have been the difference in the game. It was a one. Hey, Valencia, you know what he's listed at height and weight?
Ooh.
I think he is actually listed at 5'10". He may not be 5'10".
Yeah, you know what the weight he's listed at?
He's a little burly.
Big boy.
He's listed at 165.
Yeah, so am I.
All right, there you go. And that's like 60 pounds off. I mean, he's probably 230. I mean, it's
I don't know 230, but I think he's 2 bills.
He's
for
probably
sure.
5'10", 190, 200.
Yeah, it's amazing. He's listed at 165. But hey, how big is he? And the big thing is for him to just not get too hyped up, because man.
Well, he's throwing
big.
triple digits. I'll take that every day. That ends in Y.
Hey, about football, we all know losing our two, inside defensive guys is huge. But hell, losing Lexi Rodriguez and Merritt Beeson was huge, right? Those are two of our all-time greats.
Yeah, different
But the
sports, different pipelines, Mike.
There you go. But the thing that encourages me is both the Polar Bear and Ty Robinson developed, physically
They did.
and technique-wise. So hopefully we can do that with the other guy.
Yep.
You think?
Yep. Mike, thanks for the phone call.
Was it Evan Bland who came on the show last week and said,
He was just on the show.
but last week he said that he finds the
I wasn't
similar.
here.
Oh, okay. So I think it was him who said that there are a lot of similarities when it comes to the defense in 2023 and the defense this year. And when he first said it, I was a little skeptical, but now thinking about it, there definitely was the question marks of like, all right, yeah, Nash and Ty have like been in the trenches and they've played some games, but like now it's all onto them and like, can they do it? And heading into the year, into 2023, we thought that defensive line was going to be a major weakness of the team. And it ended up being probably the best
Well,
aspect of that.
So the defense had a struggle to begin camp earlier this month. They have been much better in the last 10 days. Like you can see they're making strides. They weren't very good in the first 2 weeks. Just like Pritchett. So I think Pritchett has some stuff in the family that's going on. They had a come to Jesus discussion. He had a good week last week. He's a stack weeks. One of my bigger takeaways from the depth chart release and Rule's discussion about it. First of all, only 6 oars. And also the way they put the depth chart together, there are situational guys. So even though Judy is ahead of Van Poppel, they might play at the same time. I mean, you know how these work.
Yeah.
One thing that I did not like Rule talking about, and I did not like to hear this. Vincent Shavers has a hamstring that it's bugging him. I think by the end of the year, Vincent Shavers will be the second best player in this program. I don't like training camp hamstring injuries because all of a sudden you go from 60 to 100 in 3 days. And do you ever get time for that to fully heal? And especially with him, as explosive as he is, as a blitzer, I did not like hearing that.
Well,
so I hope that is, we're being cautious when we say day to day, because quite frankly, we all are, that they will be they will be able to unleash him on Thursday or put him on a pitch count where by Michigan, he's V9 fully healthy.
Well, so that's what I was first off, you hope that, because we've had this conversation about the importance of having a proper training camp and getting your body fully ready. And you hope that he had enough of a training camp to do that before this occurred. And it's really just down to, hey, we don't want you to hurt this any more than you possibly can. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to sound cocky. I'm not going to sound cocky and say that Nebraska football doesn't need Vincent Shavers for Cincinnati. Okay. But at the same time, I would much rather have a healthy Vincent Shavers for your Big Ten slate of this schedule for when they play not only just Michigan, but Michigan State and Maryland and Northwestern and Minnesota. I would rather have him up and raring to go, totally fine, than him at 70% or 80% or, playing chicken with this injury all year long. And if that means that he's got to sit out the first 3 games, then you have to do that because that's
I don't think we're in the point of sitting him out.
Sure.
That's why I say a pitch count.
Sure. But I'm just saying
and he's sharing a spot with another linebacker that they want on the field as well.
I'm just saying when Rule said, because right after he said, oh, he's got a hamstring injury, he goes, but you guys know V9, like he's going to be out there. I just don't want him to go out there and risk it and end up really hurting himself, because I don't think that's a guy that you really can go out with. And we've talked a lot about John Butler. Oh, we're going to be aggressive. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to have simulated pressure. Well, that aggression comes from Vincent Shavers. And so he's not just a guy on the defense. He's one of the guys on the defense. So you just got to, I agree with you, just got to be very cautious and tentative.
So the other thing that caught my ear when Rule was talking the other day, talked about Cincinnati playing zone coverage. And then Scott Satterfield talked about their wide receivers are helping their DBs be more aggressive, but they're struggling a little bit. Now, I'm paraphrasing the struggling part. Correct me if I'm wrong. Guy that's going into his second year as a starting quarterback who, for being a true freshman last year, went through the true freshman world of the ups and downs.
Yeah.
But one thing he did well is, wasn't he really good against zone coverage?
Very.
Yeah. Now, I expect him to be better against man coverage because I expect the wide receivers to be able to fight their butt off at the line of scrimmage if they're being against man and get to a spot where then it's on the quarterback to drop the ball in the bucket or find that open guy. Plus, I also think Nebraska will do a lot more pitch and catch. And that's That is something that some quarterbacks, Adrian could never do that on a consistent basis.
Mhm.
Is just play simple pitch and catch. I think Dylan will be able to do it. But I'm hearing him talk about they're thinking about, they're a good zone team. And
Yeah.
I'm like, man, if I'm his quarterback, if I'm Matt Rule's quarterback, I'm like, huh? I'm like, oh my gosh. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I think his percentage was so much higher against zone than it was against man. Now, a little bit of that had to do with your wide receivers and the
Yeah.
setup with the play calls and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But Dylan torched a lot of zone coverage last year.
And there were moments where he would have zone coverage in front of him. There would be guys who would actually be schemed pretty wide open. He would be like, "Hey, go hit him here, Like, dude, like, I really liked his Ohio State game, but there was some moments in that Ohio State game where you're like, dude, just hit that guy. And we did see the transition of when he played against USC, he was doing a much better job of, like you were talking about, playing that pitch and catch. I think what's a very interesting storyline that we haven't fully touched on is Cincinnati runs a 3-3-5. So there's going to be, now they run a stack, so they, a different variation of the 3-3-5, but there definitely will be some familiarity with Dylan in terms of what he's looking at and what he's diagnosing, because he's played against that style of defense for the last 2 seasons at this point. I think with Dylan, it's one of those things too, and we talked about it when you were out. There is that conversation of, okay, you have Dana and you have better weapons and you have a lot of things going for you. But at some point, Dylan just has to show that he's just better.
Oh, yeah.
Regardless of what the scheme is and regardless of what the play call is and who's here and who's there. He just has to. There's probably 4 throws deep down the field that Dylan missed last year that if he hits 2 of them, Nebraska has 2 more wins.
Yeah.
If he hits all 4 of them, the ones that I'm thinking of right now, Nebraska's a 9-win team. Right? That has nothing to do with Marcus Satterfield or Glenn Thomas or Nair or Banks or anything. It just has to do with go out there and make the throw. So, yeah, if Cincinnati wants to play that game and they want to play zone and they want to play into the hands of Dylan, fine, great.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll finish kind of a discussion about week 0 ahead of week 1. Do we do week 0 good enough?
No.
We're good?
No, we don't.
Week 0 is going to become week 1.
Yeah, okay.
They're going to move up the season.
I think you could have had a lot of the games that you had there. You could put them back on the Thursday, that we're going to have this week, or you can put them on. You can spread them out through this week.
One thing I would do different. Wouldn't it have been nice to have a college football game yesterday?
Yes. I think it'd be really smart. Maybe this is a dumb idea and this is my youth, but like, why not have a college football game today and college football game tomorrow and a college football game on Wednesday? You just have, you're early enough in the season where maybe the rest
treat
doesn't
the
matter.
Sport like the MAC. You want to have MAC action in August?
I'm just saying, I think you should capitalize. No NFL is going on. This is a great time for you to expose your product, to have a football game on every day.
All right, we'll take a break. Come back with more. Gary and Matt with Peter on Game Week, Red Out Week, brought to you by Union Bank and Trust on the home of the Huskers, 1620 The Zone. Just going to throw this out there, and I probably know the answer.
Oh, go
so
ahead.
make it a. You can just quickly respond. There's no world we live in where the football coach at Nebraska can be successful, but the quarterback is not, or vice versa. Right?
No world.
Okay. All right. I just want to address that.
Not this season. If they were bringing back more on the defensive end, so let's say everybody was a year younger than what they were last year, so you're
Mhm.
bringing back Ty, you're bringing back Nash, plus with all the talent that you have, I think that could exist because the defense would have been good enough to carry. But I don't think this year. I don't think that's the case. Hey, we are just 3 days away from Nebraska football kicking off their season against the Cincinnati Bearcats. And that means that we are 3 days away from like the official, the true kickoff to the college football season. None of this week 0 Idaho State incarnate word crap, right? We're 3 days away from a beautiful, proper week 1 slate, which means that we are right around the corner of fall season. And that means you're going to pumpkin patches. And I got the best pumpkin patch for you to go to. It's Vallis. And you have an opportunity to go to 1620thezone.com and win 2 season passes to Vallis Pumpkin Patch. 1620thezone.com. Enter email, agree to terms and conditions apply, and give yourself an opportunity to win not 1, but 2 Vallis Pumpkin Patch season passes.
Was it confirmed on Saturday that Dylan is attached to 15?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we already
Yeah.
we knew that. And I guess Emmett is might be attached to 21 too. Because it is kind of surprising, in my opinion, that you had these 2 guys who basically established themselves as the faces of the team in
Their TikTok videos.
their TikTok videos
their basketball trips.
and going everywhere that they go. And they ended up, both of them did not get a single digit number. It's just very interesting. But they're both great players, and Dylan's a captain.
Say the best story of the captains. Well, Dylan to me is not a story about being a captain. I mean, it's good because they put him on the clock to prove that he could be a captain and was voted by teammates. So teammates aren't going to lie. Lutovsky.
Awesome.
And then if Tommy Hill doesn't get injured last year, where is Sierra Wright? So Sierra Wright comes in. Once Tommy Hill goes down, Sierra Wright all of a sudden comes in. And he turns out to be one of the better defensive players, if not the best defensive player behind Ty Robinson on the Black Shirts last year. He's been talked about all offseason. Sometimes we just kind of like, okay, he's here, so let's talk about somebody else. But for him to show up, remember, he showed up just before the year began last year. And because of an injury, he gets to play more and plays well, so much that in a veteran defensive backfield, he becomes the best defensive back. And now a year later, he is still considered one of the best defensive backs. You don't even worry about him. You're like, oh, who's going to be opposite? Sierra Wright. Now he's going to be a captain. And he's a single-digit guy. That's a hell of a story.
He's probably like in the Donovan Jones, Caleb Benning camp of playing in that Pinstripe Bowl and playing really well and people being very excited for the future of the secondary if that doesn't happen. Like and then honestly, he would probably end up being like, oh, wow, this is going to be, he'd be a question mark. We'd be like, are we sure Sierra Wright can be the number 1 corner? Are we sure he can be the top cornerback in the Big Ten? Because I don't think there's any doubt he probably would have ended up winning the job this year if Tommy Hill didn't get injured, if that hypothetical came to light. But, it's a hell of a story. He's a cool cat. He just looks like he's calm, cool, collected.
Well, I will tell you what, Harper Murray and your Adidas deal, Dylan Raiola and your Adidas deal, why bring up Sierra Wright? He has one of the cooler NIL deals that just got announced.
What does he have?
Your starting cornerback is a spokesperson for SeatGeek.
Nice. SeatGeek's getting everybody nowadays. Tickets for less is awesome. I mean, that's what I do, tickets for less. But if you don't, SeatGeek ain't a bad spot either. I like SeatGeek. That's a hell of one.
So Sierra Wright, one of his NIL deals is he is a spokesperson for SeatGeek. Do we think we'll see a video about the 200 tickets that are available for Thursday night at Arrowhead? And Sierra Wright will be saying, hey, want to come watch me ball out?
Maybe.
Go to SeatGeek,
Do
put
a
in
giveaway?
my code.
Hey, have you seen the Fanatics Livy Dunn commercials?
I have not.
Oh, you haven't?
As much as I am a fan and we're friends,
Yeah.
I don't see everything that she does.
No, but
I do see that her boyfriend shoved again yesterday. By the way, sorry, Nick Grimm. Rockies already eliminated before
Oh.
September 1.
Oof.
349 minus 349 run differential. I don't think they're going to change that.
Rock Timber is
But
canceled.
I
Rock
watched
Timber.
I watched her boyfriend drop his career ERA to 2.03 yesterday.
Incredible. No. So Fanatics has a sports book. I don't know if you knew about this. I had no clue about this.
Doesn't
That-
have a sports book.
I know, but apparently
Does not, by the way, does not work inside of Arrowhead.
the Fanatics sports book or just any sports
Any
book.
sports book.
Does it work outside of Arrowhead?
I think so, but once you're in the stadium, it does not.
Okay. That's interesting. Is that standard across the entirety
we
of
got,
NFL
we
stadiums?
now have gambling, sports gambling in Missouri.
So Fanatics has a sports book, and the reason why I asked, it's just very curious and interesting. Like she's in a bathtub, and like she's being covered up by bubbles.
So that's why I
And-
watched.
Well, they were doing a spin on the Margot Robbie thing from The Big Short, and I was wondering if you like now, like I don't know that it's just kind of just a very like you're just watching volleyball and it's pretty family friendly and like you're just hanging out, and then all of a sudden a half naked Livy Dunn is on your screen telling you that you should go and gamble on sports. I don't know. I asked because I thought you saw it and you might have an opinion on it. It's kind of off-putting for me, if I'm being honest. I'm not like I'm just kind of having a Miller Lite, eating my chicken and asparagus, trying to see the Huskers take down Stanford, and then all of a sudden it's just she's being covered up by bubbles, telling me that I gotta enter in my sports book to get free $200 worth of gambling.
I've not seen that.
This is a very
That's why
weird
it's
commercial.
football season. I mean, Livy and I got to take some time off during football season. I mean, I'll check back with you, like in 12 weeks. Okay.
Oh, you mean you seeing Livy? You got to get some time away from her. Is what you're saying?
I'll see her in a month.
Well-
because then we have a bye week and I'll
Let's-
have a weekend free.
Let's be real. Now that Livy Dunn is out of college, like what is her memo? You know what I'm saying? Like what is her thing now? She's just a model.
Influencer.
Okay.
I mean, hey, seeing the Little League World Series kids say, when I grow up, I want to be an actuary. Like,
that was
That was
crazy.
awesome.
like, hey,
That was insane.
you know what? Because so many of those kids now that are 12 years old want to be YouTube influencers.
Yeah.
He wants to be an actuary. And I would guess that we could do a poll inside of this building. We do not have an actuary at NRG Media. Most people have no idea what they do. So when this 12-year-old kid said it and Carl Ravitch was befuddled, I'm like, good on that kid. What if dad or mom is an actuary?
Well, good for him because you got to be incredibly smart and good with numbers to be an actuary. I did not know what an actuary was until I played Ned Ryerson in a school play, and he was an actuary. So I had to learn. They actually had me learn what his job was and what he did. What are you looking at?
No, because no, that's not. Oh,
Oh God, get Lindsay Lohan off my screen.
at a minute, I looked, just glanced, and I thought it was Livy.
Oh, it might come up
You
here.
know, like,
It might come up here. I'm not a. Did you,
I
have
think
you-
Livy. I don't think Livy has made the kind of news that Lindsay has had.
I don't pay
It'd be
attention
hard
to
to do
Lindsay
that.
Lohan.
How do you not?
she's right in the ship.
I don't care.
Is she doing better?
I think
That's
so.
one hell of a ship to write.
Hey, Brittany.
Freakier Friday, good
Did-
solid
Did
movie.
you watch it?
I did watch it. I liked because I loved the original.
You got to find a hobby, Peter. That's. I mean,
Movies is
Jamie
my
Lee
hobby.
Curtis, right?
Yep.
Yeah, she had a great week.
Hello. But somebody who different, but has gone through their struggles. I saw Brittany this weekend. Britney
Britney-
Spears,
Oh,
NSFW, Peter. So don't be
yeah.
Googling.
I was.
Oh,
about
what's
to
she up
say,
to
yeah,
now?
I-
Nothing good.
I think she wanted to feel the crisp morning air on her body.
Jeez.
Oh,
That's the way to describe it. All right. Back to something else that I saw this weekend. And it's funny because Concert Chris was just in here and he engineered the Westwood One broadcast. They had some challenges at the new stadium.
I figured.
But they did not have challenges on the field. That offense looked like that November offense of last year for KU when they righted the ship. They got to get some help from Jalen Daniels. They relied too much on him, but he's got now 8 games where he's thrown 3 or more touchdown passes. And I love Lance Leipold.
Mhm.
I think if Rule doesn't take the job, Lance Leipold is Trev's choice. But he has a connection to KU.
Yeah.
And he has done well at KU. Is Lance Leipold going to turn KU into the best basketball school job in college football?
Yes.
So I would
well,
say
no.
I would say there's Duke, There's North Carolina. Now, I'm just saying, like basketball school, hey, we also have to play football. Duke, North Carolina,
Yeah.
Purdue,
Give me Indiana.
Indiana, yeah.
Indiana's still now. Here's the funny thing. Do you think Signetti can turn Indiana from a basketball school to a football school?
Yes. Look at the money that was just spent on their field.
I totally think he can because
but their NIL for D-Rock is pretty good.
Yeah.
And they'll always be a basketball school
yes,
because of past history
but
just
you were
tradition.
yes, but you're seeing that the sellout crowds that they were getting at Bloomington became
I
an atmosphere
I think
advantage for them.
I think D-Rock will be good there. So Indiana basketball will right the ship.
Sure.
I think it would take a while for football to switch hands, but let's look at this. Kentucky, Purdue, Louisville,
Yeah.
Auburn, UCLA,
Arizona.
Michigan State, KU, Arizona. Like Leipold could turn KU into the best basketball school football job, I would think.
Can I give you one more? Illinois.
Yeah. I think that's shifted.
Yeah, but
Maybe it has not shifted.
I don't
Maybe when
think it's shifted.
Lou Henson kept it a basketball school.
I don't think it's now it got. I'll tell you this right now. Illinois athletics got murky for a hot minute. Like in the mid 2010s, they were bad at everything. They were bad at both. I think if Bielema can make the college football playoff,
Yeah,
this
they
year,
could be the Indiana of okay. We have this discussion that we just had about the Hoosiers.
No, same thing. Same. But I will say this: Indiana, their students and their just alumni population, they were way more aggressive and willing to go to games and attend games and make Memorial Stadium like opponents feel it. I know a lot of people who went to the University of Illinois, and even when they had 2 seasons ago, they were a great team. They still didn't have a ton of people going to those games.
And you know what? KU can brag this morning. For the first time since 2016, they've won a game in the season before K-State.
Really? That's
They-
a great stat.
Watch out, man. Johnson brother and Johnson father are going to come to Lawrence and fight each other over that stat. Final email of the morning into the Equitable Bank inbox. This is from Gary, no relation. You can say naked on the air. I saw her photo. Nothing to write home about. All you saw was her backside.
What's he talking about?
Brittany.
Oh, I thought he was talking about Livy. I'm like, no, the bubbles were covering all that up.
Yeah. This is about Brittany.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to Brittany.
Sometimes
So-
it's tough to not pay attention.
Yeah, she makes it
Is that
very
video one of
loud.
those?
Well, she kind of just pops into your life and you're like, well, you know what? I might be eating a ham sandwich here and make a minimum wage. I got a pretty good life. All right, that'll do it for the show. It is game week officially. A couple of more sleeps till Kansas City.
Oh,
Some say no
Kansas City.
sleeps, but I got to sleep. I
Oh.
got to sleep.
I'm sleeping.
We're back again tomorrow with a full slate of guests, fun and frivolity. And the coordinators speak today. Actually, they'd be great just speaking at the same time. Dana and Butler next to each other.
They just butt in and out. They just walk in and out from the podium.
I mean, talk about two guys that, man, those follicles are banging. We will react to that and much more when we join you again tomorrow at 6. Thank you, Peter. For Matt, I'm Gary. Crossovers coming up next.